So
but it's
we should be going live now. Will put a pin on that thought because it'd be interesting to talk about. You're gonna have to enlighten us on it because I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I don't know anything either.
So now we should be going live. We'll let people know. Let me know if everything's good. Yeah. Okay, so let's just actually get this show on the road then. All right, I'm sorry everyone that this is a little bit of an awkward start. I do that a lot actually. I do that with frequency, but it's extra awkward today because the Google Hangout got messed up right before we were starting. It was like the weirdest way. But anyways, we have a lot to talk about today. This entire discussion is going to be centered around our Smash Bros. Roster predictions, as well as the information about Bandai Namco maybe making Metroid Prime 4. Well, probably, almost certainly making Metroid Prime 4. Video Games confirming it, but we'll talk more about that in a bit. And apparently there are some localizations hinting that Pokemon for Switch could actually be making out by the end of the year. So that and a few other things we're going to be discussing today. But we are joined by, our two usual guests, but also by Andy, or Andros, at Entertainment Gaming Daily. The link to his channel is in the description below. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
Okay. Cool. So is there anything you want to say about your channel or before we sort of jump forward? Well, obviously, Brandon and Will, guys should know them as well. If you haven't, check out their channels as well in the link in the description below. But is there anything you want to say about your channel, man?
I don't know. Let's see. I live stream every single day. I play all game systems. Nintendo is the one that I care about the most. Games. So there's a bunch of stuff that happens there. And if you guys see me playing anything you own, you're always welcome to play with us.
Cool.
Keep it brief.
Yeah, I mean, I saw you were streaming Overwatch yesterday.
Yeah. A couple people asked me to play that with them. So
cool. Yeah, I know a lot of people on the channel like actually playing multiplayer games with streamers. I'm not one of those people who likes doing that, so I rarely play online multiplayer these days. I don't know. I think part of it is because I hate that everyone is moving more and more towards online multiplayer and non-single player games. I like both. I'm just kind of talking trash, but I also semi-mean what I'm saying,
Yeah, I personally like local more than anything, but
that's the thing though, like I love local multiplayer. GoldenEye, bro, Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, like those are I grew up like playing Melee and Halo with my friends. Like we said we were going to play outside, but we just went into my friend's basement. We played Super Smash Bros. Melee and Halo all day. That was, and then at night we would play Manhunt. Then we would actually play outside when we weren't supposed to,
Of course.
Those were good times. Like when I was in college, playing, Smash Brothers and Mario Kart, that was fun. Like having people over, that was fun. Like I like playing online, but I feel like playing online is just like, oh, I am playing online because I don't have people to play with, Otherwise, the only reason I play online games, aside from like trying to play with other people, right, to get in other people because I need other people, is because maybe I want to be competitive with it. Otherwise, if I'm playing a game, I'd rather it be single player. That's how I usually prefer it. There's always exceptions, but like for example, I'm not one of those people who's gonna play Splatoon for 500 hours. I'll play like 50 hours, but not 500, because I can't keep going back playing against people I don't know. Like I need a little. Personally, I need a little bit more of a narrative or what have you, which is why I focus on more single player games, I guess.
Yeah, I personally like the idea of red shelling a friend and then making the ugliest face possible looking at him because that hit.
Yes.
So
or you could body your friend so badly at Mario Kart, like you literally beat them playing with one hand. I've done this many times on the Wii U, Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. You could play with one hand on the gamepad. Right, because I would use the gamepad, the drift button, I would just tap it against my lap, right? I could use the items with my index finger and move with motion controls while I'd be eating ice cream, finish while they're still on the second lap, go get food in the kitchen, come back, can start eating again, and they're still not done. Like, those are the things I enjoy doing, but now it just seems like we can't. Because, you know, like, local multiplayer is dying. Probably because the people don't get bodied in public.
Well, I mean, Nintendo's trying their best to keep it alive, so they're trying their damnedest.
Yeah. So I'm gonna shout out a few people who are in the chat before we jump into the discussion here. Sun Gohan and Black Star Dude, Chris, we're here really early. Thanks for coming, guys. Ben, how you doing, man? Who else is here? Who else is here? Oh, you guys are actually started a conversation before the stream was even going, which is awesome. Snowman, how you doing, bro? Arishan, what's up? Sean from Inside Gaming Online. You think I'm scared to run into you in a multiplayer game? Nah, man. Did you see me playing Dragon Ball FighterZ last night? I was like even. I got bodied a few times and it beats like some okay people. So yeah, I'm pretty.
I would like to verse you, by the way.
Yeah, oh, we could do that. You might win, but I wouldn't mind trying at least. It'd be fun. What's up, Sabbath64? We actually have a few people in the chat now. That's pretty cool. So let's kind of jump into the discussion then, right? There's a lot to talk about, but Will, you were telling us beforehand. I missed it. I guess it just happened like a couple hours ago, but apparently the E3 show floor plans came out. Is that what you saw, Will?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. And it's pretty much the same as last year, which is a pretty big sign that Nintendo's going to have just as big of an E3 as they had last year. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh, I never doubted that. But I guess the question really is what's going to be at E3, right? Like, I kind of like what Nintendo's done. Like, last year, it was a huge focus on Mario Odyssey, right? And the year before was Zelda. Like, I'm wondering what they're going to showcase this year, right? Because every E3, it seems like, at least since the last 2 years, they're trying to kind of make it kind of almost, not like a little mini theme park, you know, like they put a lot of stands and like what is it that they're gonna do this year that's gonna be like that? Is it gonna be Pokemon? Is it gonna be Smash Brothers? Is it gonna be Fire Emblem? Is it gonna be Metroid Prime 4? I know there's a pretty good chance Metroid probably won't come out this year, but oh my god, if they have a Metroid Prime 4 E3 and there's like Metroids floating around and like, can you imagine like if they designed the show floor like inside like, you know, like a lab that was destroyed? Like imagine like walking through the space pirate base in Metroid Prime 1, or like a recreation of the beginning of Super Metroid when you see the lab's destroyed, right, and there's a baby Metroid and Ridley takes it, like going in there and seeing all the test tubes broken, like that would be amazing. But maybe Metroid Prime 4 shouldn't come out this year because I don't think I'll make it to E3 this year. Maybe it should come out in 2019 so I could be there for that.
Right.
Yeah. Dude, come on. You know, I do like to toot my own horn, but you know that's an awesome idea. Like if they were to do that, like make it feel like Alien or something, like, you know, like that would just be incredibly epic. So I don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna do something. One of those 4 games, probably, I bet. Which, I mean, if we were just for fun's sake, which game? Do you guys agree with me though that they're gonna do their E3 kind of like they did with Mario and Zelda? They're gonna kind of theme it around this particular game.
I mean, what game would that be? Probably.
Well, I think it's one of the 4 games I suggested.
Yeah, it's
actually.
weird.
I don't think it'd be. Well, I mean, I just don't think. I don't. I feel like it's
I don't
probably
think it'd be Animal Crossing or Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Eh.
I don't know what game it'd be. But yeah, I agree. Like, I feel like they do have something that they're going to, you know, Super Mario Odyssey up at E3 this year.
To be completely
I can
honest,
agree.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Sorry, now that I think about it, I don't even really know. Because honestly, Nintendo will kind of put out something, like a little teaser of some sort, or at least let you know this is our main focus. Because as far as Zelda and Mario Odyssey, we kind of already knew those were a thing.
Right, but we don't know what their big game this year is, right? Like we know that Metroid Prime, Pokemon, and Bayonetta are in development. Smash Bros. And Animal Crossing are not confirmed. Pikmin 4 is pseudo-confirmed in terms of like their major games, right? So it's kind of hard to pick what's coming, especially since most people are skeptical that Metroid, Pokemon, and Bayonetta can even make it out this year. You know, so like if I guess the safest, most boring option, which isn't even necessarily boring, would be Fire Emblem, right? Like I know that's gonna be at E3.
That could look really cool, actually. A Fire Emblem themed show floor. That could look really cool.
Oh, Arshawn's leaving already? Alright, take care, man.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna need something that is as attractive, because I don't think Spider-Man, for Sony speaking, is coming out before E3. So I feel like they're gonna need something just as attractive as Ultra HD Spider-Man on their show floor. So I don't. I mean, Fire Emblem would definitely look super cool. Probably way cooler than Spider-Man could.
To be completely honest, with Metroid though, I mean they have gotten more staff specifically to work on that game.
Are we talking about Metroid?
And I have been hearing that there is a chance that it will be releasing this year during holiday.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some rumors, and like I personally always kind of believed that when they announced Metroid last E3, it's like, oh, it's coming. Like if you look at Nintendo's most recent like pattern, like when they're announcing a game, it's usually out either within a year or not too long after. I mean, maybe that has just more to do with the Switch's first year than that's just their new schedule now. But if it wasn't for everyone saying that's impossible, I would have been saying Metroid Prime Holiday 2018, And we'll get into more into the Metroid Prime topic in a little bit, but because this is, I want to talk about it later, I guess. We could talk about it now, but I was saving it for later. But I do want to read one thing from Ben S. He's just saying, imagine if Nintendo showed Metroid, a new Zelda game, Smash, Animal Crossing, a new IP, Fire Emblem, and remakes all at once at this E3. That would be so awesome. It would be so awesome, but that's not happening. Not all of that. Maybe some of it, but not all of that.
They only like to come out with 4 to 5 titles throughout the year and space them out for each quarter. So IGO is saying, expect to see Retro Studios' Luigi's Mansion 3 for Switch. Oops. Yeah. You heard it here first, guys. That's what they're working on. Luigi's Mansion 3. I mean, hey, maybe, actually. That'd be pretty cool, but...
It could happen. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I've heard rumors, but not from my people. I've seen them on the internet, randomly. People just kind of brought up
I feel like people just...
of a new Luigi's Mansion.
I don't think there's necessarily leaks out there for Luigi's Mansion 3. I think it's just that, because, for example, Sabbath is bringing up that Luigi's having his 35th anniversary so this year. So it would make sense for there to be a Luigi game.
With that being said, with Luigi's 30th anniversary, they gave him a, what was that?
Super Luigi U? Was that the time?
No, they gave, it was on the Wii U, there was the Dr. Luigi.
Oh. It was the whole year of Luigi, though. Oh, you mean on the day, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
And but even then, if they decided to do a Luigi's Mansion at all, it'd be Luigi's Mansion 2, because the Dark Moon game wasn't even considered a numbered series. They didn't even use a number in that one, so they wouldn't skip straight to 3 if there technically wasn't a 2.
Or they might just go off names and not call it 3 at all.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
that is yeah, definitely. It's I don't know. I would love to for there to be another Luigi's Mansion. There's no rumors or leaks out there. I think nothing like that.
Yeah,
aside from it making
anything since
it makes sense. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if there's a Luigi's Mansion. It's just kind of there's no hard evidence out there, but it does make sense given the whole anniversary thing. So we'll see what happens with that. So let's just kind of jump into the actual topics here. Alright, so we did sort of touch on this last podcast, but it wasn't an intended topic because the news came out literally a week ago, last Monday. But there are rumors of Black Ops 4 being the next Call of Duty this year, right? But the rumors also extend to there being a Switch version. Now, from what I hear, Eurogamer has confirmed that they do have heard of by multiple sources that Black Ops 4 is in development, but they have not heard of a Switch version, according to Eurogamer. So that doesn't mean that it's not coming, but it does. I don't know. What do you guys think of this? I think it's kind of a given that Call of Duty is going to come to the Switch sooner or later. Like I said last week, I think that if it doesn't come this year, it's just because the way they were within the development cycle, they just had not decided Switch was worth it yet, and that by next year for sure. But I feel like there's a pretty damn good chance we're going to see Black Ops 4 for Switch this year. I mean, if I had to place money, I would place money on that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's been long enough that we've known the Switch is a success, and they should definitely get on that. So, I don't know, I just don't see Call of Duty not coming out on the Switch this year. It just doesn't make sense. I've heard some people be like, oh, it's not possible because the Switch is too weak. I'm like, are you stupid? They came out with Call of Duty on the freaking Nintendo DS. I mean,
money just makes anything possible, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, sure. Activision is obsessed with money. So it's like,
exactly.
they see the Switch is literally printing money. They're going to try and get that game to run on there no matter what.
Yeah,
Activision is like a bloodhound when it comes to money. They smell one penny and from like 50 miles away and they come running after.
Yeah, that's like if EA doesn't beat them there.
Right.
Yeah, so they made Call of Duty 4 times on the Wii. Like they got a whole new development team. Like, yeah, I mean, don't be shocked, guys. I would bank on it if anything. But so I guess this topic we're pretty much done with because like we all agree like it's probably gonna happen. They want money, right? So we're gonna move back into the Bandai Namco making Metroid Prime topic because that's really interesting. And there's a few things in the chat that I want to reference before we get into it. So first off, Ben, my favorite team member from Boruto's team is Boruto himself. Though I feel like they're all good. Like, I really like the whole Boruto generation. I feel I can see that they are all set up to be even better than their parents. But we'll save a Boruto conversation for another day, or maybe at least later in this discussion. We'll see how it goes. So back to the whole Bandai Namco thing. Now, you guys may have seen a lot of news for this already, but I'll kind of just like summarize it. So, Doctra81, a YouTuber who honestly his following is like not even necessarily that much. It is way bigger than mine, but I mean, like, he only has, like, about 7,000 or so subscribers. Like, he's not, like, big time, right? But he's within the industry, and if you pay attention to all the Nintendo YouTubers, you probably know about him. And he's known for occasionally, like, finding some things, like, doing some research, but he's not necessarily an industry insider, right? But he finds stuff. So, he did some research, and he was looking through LinkedIn, and he found a listing from a lead designer from Bandai Namco Singapore, which is a relatively new developer, and this listing showed a few things, one of which being an unannounced IP, first-person adventure shooter, exclusive for the Switch. And everyone was like, oh, well, the only thing that fits that description is Metroid Prime. Yeah, so, and then, of course, literally, like, 24 hours later, guess what happened? Or, like, about a day or so later, Eurogamer confirmed that, yeah, Bandai Namco is working on the game. Now, Eurogamer's word isn't, like, necessarily 100% gospel, like, as if Nintendo were to say it, but, like, if Eurogamer's confirming it and IGN's reporting it as a rumor, right, but probably true, and GameXplain's reporting it as a rumor, but probably true, it's like 99.5% probably true. So, yeah. Eurogamer is almost certainly working on Metroid Prime 4 to some capacity, and I also am hearing that it started off at Bandai Namco Singapore, who has developers from both Far Cry and Star Wars 1313, so they do have the good sci-fi first-person shooter like talent, that they moved that over to Bandai Namco Japan, which is also a lot closer to Nintendo EAD teams. So, yeah. And to what IGO was saying about, Nintendo and Bandai Namco working together, I think it is suggestive that they have a huge team on this to speed up development, to make sure that maybe it is out earlier than later, so maybe 2018 is more likely than some people think. So yeah, that's my very long, brief summary. What do you guys thoughts on this whole thing?
But the information that I have is the Bandai Namco Japan is actually the ones that are working on it, and Singapore was relieved of that to work on a different Switch title.
Okay.
I've heard rumors about that, yeah.
So when you say relieved, do you mean like they changed plans, or was it always the plan for them to just get the ground, like get the base and then move it over?
But the plans are actually completely changed because there's an IP that that we haven't seen in a while that they're supposed to be working on. Because Nintendo works pretty close with Bandai Namco almost said behind the sheets. Oh well, shit, I said it anyway. They work together closely. For example, like with Smash Brothers, Bandai Namco assisted with the Wii U Smash port, but with Wii U Smash. But the 3DS Smash was done with Bandai Namco as well, but that was a different division. Like it wasn't Bandai Namco Japan. Pretty close to Bandai Namco, which I find weird that some games that they have worked with them with, you can see it in the credits, but you don't see it when you turn the game on and it shows everyone that contributed to the game.
Huh.
But yeah, Singapore's supposed to be working on a completely different title. Well, as of now, because they started production, but from what I was told a few days ago, that they started off with just art and didn't get much further.
Really? Okay. Well, regardless, though, Bandai Namco is at least probably developing most of Metroid Prime. But a lot of people seem concerned about that. A lot of people seem concerned about that, but I don't think that's really concerning at all. Because, one, Nintendo still has a lot of the creative decisions in mind. I mean, we know that the lead guy who's directing the Metroid Prime series is still working with this team. You know, and I wouldn't, if anything, if they needed help, Retro Studios could pitch something in. You know, Retro Studios, aside from making games, they are good for, like, helping out in little places here and there all the time within all of Nintendo's other studios. So, like I'm not concerned at all that this is not gonna feel like a Metroid Prime game. Like, maybe most of the guys there haven't worked on a Metroid Prime game, but the lead guys making most of the creative decisions have, and if they need extra input from other studios, they'll get it. Like, I'm not concerned. Are you guys concerned at all?
No. I'm not concerned in any way.
Because I'm sure Nintendo is breathing down their necks. Like, you better not mess this up. You better not mess this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo puts heavy care into their games.
Yeah.
Like, even with Ubisoft, they gave Ubisoft creative freedom with Mario Rabbids, but they were still, like, on them. You know, they're still walking back and forth.
Well, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. So, like, if you think, there's a few different things I want to say to this. One, a lot of people are kind of giving Bandai Namco flack, who has huge studios which are still working closely with Nintendo, right? But if we think about it, Retro Studios, when they made Metroid Prime, they essentially had an unproven record. That was their first official game as a studio. Yeah, they had some talent come over from Iguana Entertainment, but it wasn't like they were pretty much new. Like, we didn't know what that team together was going to come up with. It was Metroid Prime, which was amazing, but before they made the game, it was an unproven record. But Nintendo trusted them to make it. They made that decision, right? And obviously, it was a good decision. So I am not worried if Nintendo trusts them to do it. However, there was that time that Other M happened. And a lot of people don't like Other M, and that's when Nintendo placed Metroid in the care of Team Ninja. However, I will say this, that the gameplay for Other M is actually really good. The only thing that's weird about it is the story. That's my opinion on it. Aside from that, like, pretty much every other, like, almost every IP that Nintendo kind of sends out to another developer to make, it still comes up pretty well. Like, for example, Samus Returns, like the Castlevania guys that were making the 3DS that made the 3DS Castlevania, like, they made Samus Returns, and you can make the argument that Metroid Samus Returns didn't, like, break the boundary or really elevate Metroid to, like, evolve the series, but it was technically a remake. And as far as remakes go, I mean, I think they did a pretty good job. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys think they did do a good job?
Yeah, I mean, you draw a good point about the third-party developers, because there are some that made games in the past that people didn't even realize because we were too young to care.
Yeah.
Castlevania, Minish Cap made by Capcom. So it's
Yes, Minish
Yeah.
Cap, a Zelda game was literally made by Capcom. Like that's crazy when you think about it. But and they did
Yeah.
that is arguably. I mean, it's, to me, it might be my favorite 2D Zelda. It's like right up there with Link to the Past. So what's that?
It's pretty good.
What was that? Brandon, you don't like Minish Cap?
No,
You don't
I
like
do
Minish Cap? You hate on Minish Cap.
No, I just wouldn't say it's my favorite 2D Zelda game.
I said it. I said it was right there with. For the record, I haven't played Oracle of Seasons or Ages.
Me either.
Or Link's Awakening, actually. I haven't played Link's Awakening either.
I haven't played that one either.
Those are like the only
Other
Zelda
than
games
Four
I've never
Swords?
played.
Yeah.
What?
Other than Four Swords, I personally don't like the classic style that much.
I mean,
But
I
like.
I prefer 3D
Worlds.
Zelda, too.
I like A Link to the Past
Yeah.
and Four Swords Adventures, but then like, other than those, I haven't really like tried to pay any attention to like the original Zelda. Although I did play it growing up, but I didn't get anywhere because I was too dumb.
yeah. So
I was
Yeah,
too dumb to get through it.
I wanna
They do a good job of modernizing.
reference something in the chat. Two things. One, Sabbath, I would love to see a Conquer sequel on Switch, but it's never going to happen. Right,
Nope.
exactly. Because it's owned by Microsoft. But also, second, Son Gohan, you're asking if Bandai has Metroid, would it give it an anime look of the game? No, that does not mean that at all. Bandai Namco doesn't just make Dragon Ball and Naruto games. They make a whole bunch of other games. And they don't just make anime-style games. So, like, for example, I referenced that Bandai Singapore, they brought in devs that worked on Star Wars 1313 and Far Cry 4. Now, apparently, Bandai Singapore may not actually be working on Metroid Prime 4, but it's just an example that they have a whole bunch of developers that have made all sorts of games that are completely different from an anime style. Like, there's nothing to worry about there in terms of style. Like, it's not going to look. It's not going to be cel shaded.
Serious question.
Yeah, as long as CyberConnect doesn't touch the game, because I honestly don't want that like weird pre-rendered guitar music in my Metroid. But every game they make has.
Yeah, and actually, I was doing a little bit of research, and apparently, I didn't know this, but apparently Namco owned Monolith Soft before Nintendo did. Right, and when Monolith Soft sort of transitioned over to being a Nintendo developer, that transition really actually strengthened the relationship between Nintendo and Namco. Like, it wasn't like, oh, Monolith, we don't want to work for you anymore. Nintendo, please buy us. And then Namco was upset. No, it was actually kind of like, oh, you guys can handle the studio much better than us. Thank you for maybe not exactly like that, but it was actually a situation that strengthened their relationship. And so like Namco and Nintendo have worked together for years, and they've made some really, really good games. So I mean, like Star Fox Assault is one of the good new Star Fox games that we've seen in the 21st century. Like, that's just one of many games that they've made that have had like a Nintendo name to it. I'm not worried.
Oh yeah, Namco made 2 really good arcade Mario Karts.
That's true.
Inside Gaming Online.
Yeah, good point, Sean.
Because I remember playing that, and Pac-Man was in it. He was really good.
Melee DOS PA wants Melee HD.
No.
Maybe Namco will make that. I don't think they will.
I don't want that.
No.
If you really think about it, that Melee was unbalanced and kind of broken, and that's the game everyone loves. So if they redid that game, they would fix all those problems, and it wouldn't be the game you grew up with.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
It's a great point how you bring that up, actually, right? Like, I don't know too much about the meta of Melee, right? But I do know that they probably would do a much better job of balancing it out. Because they put a lot more attention to balancing out things now. So, yeah, they probably wouldn't be exactly the same. And that's the weird thing about fighting games, like especially like Smash Bros. Like sometimes, like to the casual fan, they may not notice that much of a difference in gameplay, but it's like the subtle differences, like between physics from one game to another, that make a huge difference. Like for me, like when I first played Brawl, I didn't think it was necessarily that much different from Melee, right? But it's huge. Like people describe Melee as super fast and Brawl's like super floaty and slow, right? I wouldn't think that, but like the competitive players, that's the way they see it and play it. So yeah, I don't know about Melee HD, but
I feel like if they did a Melee HD, that they would try to keep the physics the same, just to not piss people off. Because I think they know the fact that melee players are the most touchy people, most sensitive people in the universe.
Yeah.
Like, so
That's
I think if they did a melee
you may be
HD,
right.
they'd probably keep the physics the same. I don't. And plus, why
Yeah.
would you take the time to fix it? Like, why
I
would
feel
you
like
take the
they
time
know.
to change it when people already love it?
I
so
think
much?
best case scenario what'll happen is that they'll release Melee, not HD, well, not 8. So the virtual console that we've seen, right? It looks like it's going to be kind of like a Dolphin sort of emulator style. For whatever, if this virtual console, if it even is a virtual console, comes to Switch, right? That we may eventually see some popular GameCube and Wii games come onto Switch eShop. One of which could be Super Smash Bros. Melee. It'll have a higher resolution texture. You could play with a GameCube controller. That's probably the closest thing you'll get to a Melee HD. Which would be Melee in HD, technically.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't be titled Melee HD. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think because I like how they approach certain stuff. Because with Ocarina of Time HD, they actually like stopped to ask, should we keep the glitches that people? I mean, those glitches shouldn't have been there, but people grow attached to them, so they kept them for Ocarina HD or 3D rather, not HD exactly.
Yeah. So Sabbath is asking, does he think we'll see Mario Party 11 anytime soon? I'm pretty sure I heard something about Mario Party 11 not too long
That
ago.
was in that BS leak.
Yeah,
Was that what it
Yeah,
was?
I
It
had
was.
no interest.
yeah, that was
Sorry.
the leak.
Yeah. I mean, I was really excited about Mario Party 100. I thought that was really cool.
Should have been on the Switch.
yeah.
Would've been
I have no interest in a
It
Mario
should
Party
have.
if they're gonna make it handheld or put everyone in a car together.
Oh my gosh, fuck the card, bro.
Like
Seriously.
Mario Party needs to be
You
on
do that
console, not everyone in a car playing traditionally.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Even if it's motion controls, I don't care. I just don't want them in a car, and I don't want it to be handheld. I have not bought a single.
I'm okay with Mario Party having motion controls. Actually, I think
I've
for
heard
a
pretty
mini
DS.
game like that, it works out pretty well because it's like it's a festive kind of game. It's a
Yeah.
game you play with friends, and when you're playing with friends, you're willing to
Yeah,
do
it's a
weird and
party.
wacky things. So yeah, I mean, and
From
to
what
answer your
I've
question, Sabbath, I think Mario Party 11 will probably come soonish. I don't know if soonish is this year or next year, but I'd say if not this year, next year for sure. That's just kind of based off experience of the frequency
Yeah.
that we get Mario Party games. It's bound to happen soon. I just don't know if it's right around the corner or a next yearish kind of thing.
I'm not
Were
gonna get hyped if they're in a freaking car. Like I haven't been hyped for Mario Party in like years.
I think Nintendo
Like that-
kind of knows, like, nobody likes that now.
Yeah,
I think, I
yeah,
mean,
that was Wii U Nintendo, so
Well,
I
I
feel
think
like they were just padding it out. So
yeah,
you know,
that's
I
the
think
thing.
that's
Like a
not-
lot of the games on the Wii U were games that were clearly designed with a low budget. Like they planned it out. It's like what kind of game can we make that will have a low development cycle that will still be kind of good, right? Like that's why we saw Star Fox
Yeah.
and
Zero,
you'll get the,
right?
you'll
That's
get
why we
those
saw the
people
Mario
who fight
Party,
for the name.
the Mario tennis game that was bare bones. Like a lot, like they were planned to never be super good. Like they were meant to just be, they were
Yeah.
pad outs, exactly like you said. Like
They
come
think
on,
about whichever
Mario-
names sell on the shelves.
Star
so
Fox
that's the
Zero
game for it.
didn't have multiplayer.
Yeah,
It didn't have. How could Star Fox Zero not have
Gosh.
multiplayer? Think about that. Like, do you really think they were like, wow, you know what? I think Star Fox doesn't need multiplayer. Like, that's not a good design choice for Star Fox. No, they didn't do that because it would cost money and time. They're like, look, we need to get a Star Fox out. What's the best way to do it? They thought single player mattered more, so that's what they did.
They should just release the multiplayer only
They kinda-
Star Fox. People have been more happy with that.
They did.
They would
Bandai
have.
Namco to make Star Fox Assault 2.
they
Because,
kind
you know,
of
they made the
all followed the same.
I
thing.
actually have heard.
Yeah.
I heard something on Twitter. I don't know if it was a rumor or just a wish, but I heard something about like Bandai Namco getting their Star Wars Battlefront killer going. Like, what if? Oh, okay. So I heard what. I think it was just someone's idea, speculation on Twitter, and it wasn't for Star Fox. It was for Metroid, which I don't know who said that. But I would love it if they were to take a Star Fox Assault idea and make that into kind of like a Star Fox, aka Star Wars Battlefront kind of game. That would be really dope. I would love that. Like, but we need to have a campaign though. Like, I would want a campaign that doesn't just involve finding Star Fox's dead father inside a planet with robot Andross. Like, you know, I want something a little bit. Spoiler alert! In case you haven't played the game 5 times over with all the different remakes and remaster and reimaginings over the last like 20 years, you know. But like, yeah, that would be really cool. That's an amazing idea. Star Fox Battlefront or something like that.
That could be cool. Yeah.
Star Fox Assault was. I liked the way it played. It was.
It just needed online. That's what it needed.
A reskinned better Halo, in my opinion. Well. It's like what we were.
I love the Star Fox Assault multiplayer. The problem was I had no one to play with. Like, that was its issue, and that's one of those games that would have totally have benefited to have like a full like online like.
That was on GameCube, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on GameCube, which suffered for not
GameCube had online.
Technically.
Games. What was it? Mario Kart.
Mario Kart Double Dash had a LAN mode, so not really online, but there was Phantasy Star Online.
The same way as Phantasy Star.
Yeah, like Phantasy Star, you could actually connect with people around the world. Mario Kart Double Dash, you couldn't technically do that, but they did have the LAN thing, and you needed to get I believe you need to get the broadband adapter for that too. You need a broadband adapter for any sort of LAN online game on GameCube, which was like 3 of them, so, you know. Yeah,
there wasn't much.
No. So, yeah, but going back to the main topic here, I'm not concerned about Metroid Prime 4 being made by Namco. We've been over this. We've beaten this, like, you know, we're beating a dead horse here. So I'm feeling a lot better now than before that maybe we might be seeing Metroid come out this year. But I feel like we're definitely going to see it, you know? Actually, there have been rumors that the January Direct was actually moved into February, and Metroid's supposed to be showing off with that. And the reason I'm revisiting that rumor, 1, because it's convenient for myself, but also 2, a part of that rumor was saying that Bandai Namco was making Metroid, and now we know that's pretty much true, so that kind of, like, makes me want to think about that rumor again and say, hey, wait, if they were right about the Bandai Namco part, were they also right about there being a planned Direct to feature Metroid? And if that's the case, some of the talk has been that the Direct was moved up a month for whatever reason, and maybe we'll be getting an announcement for a Direct tomorrow or Wednesday, you know, for an actual big Direct. That'd be cool, I don't know.
Weird.
Why would it be weird?
I feel like they would save Metroid Prime 4 for E3.
Yeah. I mean,
would
if they do show like Metroid in a February Direct, or like announce the Direct tomorrow with Metroid Prime 4, it's like, oh, beware of news on Metroid Prime. I would say that, yeah, it's probably coming holiday 2018. Like, I would join you on that bandwagon.
Yeah, it depends on what type of Direct they end up having.
I mean, I agree with you.
One that has like the little sizzle reel of games going by, they will definitely be like, hey, this is something you're going to see.
Yeah.
Although they wouldn't show you any gameplay because they'd want to save that kind of hype for E3 or their Treehouse or, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's one of those things where, like, if it was meant to be, like, a major Direct, like for example, like the Switch presentation in January, or, like, that famous epic Direct that they had, like, the very first Direct. If it's meant to be, like, a major Direct to showcase what they have all year, right, or most of what they have all year, then we'll see Metroid. If it's more just kind of like, hey, look, this is what we have coming for the next couple of months, definitely no. You know, that's why we didn't, you know, the Direct Mini, it was mostly ports with a couple new things. That's because it was just meant to sort of show off what's happening, you know, to sort of tie it around to the end of the fiscal year and a couple of months after that.
Yeah, just get the stuff they don't want to take up room at E3 out of the way.
Yeah. I don't think they would show off the first gameplay of Metroid Prime 4 and in a Direct. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. When was Breath of the Wild shown off for the first time? In a Direct. No, it was at a Nintendo Direct presentation.
It was at E3.
That wasn't a... Well, when they showed that off, even if it wasn't a Direct, wasn't it just a trailer of Link, like, doing a front flip? No, that was
E3.
That was E3, too.
Yeah,
so
it was.
Never really had
it was.
little trailers.
It was
the first actual game.
It was E3 time.
Was E3.
It was E3 time.
Yeah, it was a surprise thing.
Yeah. Mario Odyssey was not shown off at... Mario Odyssey was technically shown off with the Switch reveal trailer, right? Even though people doubted that it was even real.
That was like... that's an exact year, actually.
I think it depends on how they market this direct. Like, Mario Odyssey was shown off during the gigantic January presentation. Like, that was not a Nintendo Direct. That was a gigantic, like, here's where we're going to show everything about the Switch and why you should buy it.
Yeah, that
wasn't oh, we're having a Direct this month.
Yeah, the landscape was very different. I feel like we got to take that into account.
Yeah, so let me ask you guys this question, though, right? So we're kind of placing Metroid in sort of the Zelda, Mario sort of level here, but does Nintendo see it as a Zelda, Mario level kind of game? You know?
For
like
people to come back to, yes.
Like, we enjoy it like that, right? But in terms of sales, it hasn't been like that before. So is Nintendo going to give it that push this year? Right? Let's, for all intents and purposes, because I know some people don't think it could happen this year, right? But let's just assume Metroid Prime 4 is coming this year, for the sake of argument. If it is coming out this year, that's one of Nintendo's big games, right? Let's say Pokemon, Metroid, and Smash Bros. Are their big games. Like, that's it, you know? How are they going to market Metroid Prime 4? Like, are they going to... Is it going to be the game at E3 that is the feature show that's actually like walking to a lab, like I said earlier on, right? Or are they just going to have Pokemon for that, right? Or Fire Emblem or Smash Brothers, you know? Like, how do you guys think they're going to treat this? Like, how big do you think it's going to be for them?
I think Metroid Prime, even though it hasn't sold really well, I think it has the potential to sell really well. Given the right marketing and minor gameplay changes, minor stuff like still Metroid Prime style, I think it has the potential to, sell really well. They really need... Nintendo is one that's not really caught the first-person shooter market very well. So I think that they really need to make Metroid Prime like this big thing. And I think that they see that it has the potential to become a really big series for them. So I think they're going to really push it and go all out.
I want to say something to that, though. So technically, there's a whole argument, is Metroid Prime a first-person shooter or first-person adventure? I've been replaying Metroid Prime 2, and I replayed Metroid Prime 1 a couple months ago. It's definitely adventure first, shoot later. Like, it's... The shooting elements are cool, and they're important, but Metroid Prime is first-person adventure first. And it's really more... I feel like Metroid Prime is more like Bioshock than it is Halo.
Well, technically, Halo's like that, too. Because Halo's story mode, just like Metroid story mode, minus, Metroid having puzzles...
I would. I don't know if
I would not agree with that.
I don't think I agree with that.
Echoes had if you remember Echoes, it had the local multiplayer arena-based shooter, like any other shooter. You pick up items, different missiles, you shoot at the other people, 4-player script screen.
It did.
Yeah.
And that's exactly something they could bring over to this new one. Obviously, hopefully they can.
Well,
I feel like
in that way, yes, but in the story itself, no.
Like the single-player campaign is still
that strong narrative, and that strong narrative behind themselves, and that's not something Microsoft has at all. So, like with the way Metroid plays, just like I hate comparing it to Halo, but just like that game, you're put in your place, you go from point A to point B. It's just the difference is that Metroid does this point A to point B, as in, wait, you got to open this door, you got to collect that, you got to go through there, because theirs is more open world based rather than you land somewhere and that's a new mission. So it is adventure based in that aspect, but if they were to do multiplayer regardless, the game would be a shooter. And Metroid can still be considered like Nintendo's hardcore shooter, whether it has an adventure aspect or not, because you're playing that story mode by yourself. The story mode can't be just like multiplayer. It can't just be a shooter. It'd be dull, it'd be boots in the ground Call of Duty, and that's not what Metroid is, and you can't even become close to that.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely agree that a multiplayer aspect, right, would go a long ways to attracting in more of an audience. That will increase sales dramatically. Right, especially if they do coin it as kind of like the Battlefront style or like the Halo style sort of multiplayer shooter. But the purists for Metroid fans are not going to necessarily be excited about that, because I don't think it will necessarily take away from the single player, but it could. But given all we're hearing about the Bandai Namco stuff, it does sound like they have a lot of people working on this. They may even have multiple studios working on this at different times. And I remember, like, the beginning of the year, it was pure speculation, maybe you could call it intuition or what have you, that maybe they have one team working on the multiplayer while they have one team working on the single player, because they really want to make this a really, really big game. So it's a cool idea, and I think one way they could definitely get it to sell kind of like a Halo, or like how Battlefront should have sold, include an online multiplayer, definitely. But I was also bringing up the whole BioShock comparison because it doesn't need a multiplayer to sell, though. BioShock did pretty well, and Metroid is a bigger name, technically, a more, you know, I guess, storied name, right? So if BioShock was able to sell, why can't Metroid? You know what I mean? And that would be it just focusing on being a first-person adventure as opposed to a multiplayer shooter. So,
well, definitely Nintendo. But one thing Nintendo is lacking that they absolutely do need and they have to have, other than I guess other than Splatoon, that big game that makes people come back to the console. Period. Because
there's Mario Kart.
Well, yeah, and there's Mario Kart, but with that
and there could be Smash Brothers.
That one big competitive game that pulls people back.
It could be Smash Brothers.
Does count, but,
I think I know what he means.
But they got to reach that shooter demographic.
I see what you're saying.
Like,
well, I don't.
It's the perfect game.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying, but I don't know if Nintendo cares because they could try and get the shooter market, right? But when have they tried? Like, when have they ever tried to do that? They haven't. There's been this shooter market for years.
I don't think they need it, but I do think that it would be very beneficial for them to attempt to tackle it.
Yeah, because they hit the fighters market with Pokken and Smash. They're kind of love tapping the shooter market with Splatoon. They already got their RPG market down with Breath of the Wild perfectly. They have their arcade style with Mario Kart. They don't. Really
I wouldn't qualify Breath of the Wild as an RPG.
Well, Zelda pretty much has been considered one, but Breath of the Wild so is one more than the past ones, to be really honest.
I mean, it has the items and such.
You're leveling up so subtle, but I mean, as you get different items, each thing has its own stats, and then you're stronger or weaker based on what you drink and eat and blah blah blah. In that aspect, because the word RPG is kind of thrown around a lot nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, the RPG terminology has been used for Zelda before. I just wouldn't qualify it as an RPG, technically. Yeah. But they have Xenoblade, to your point anyways. They have an RPG. They also have Pokemon, right? They also have Fire Emblem, which is like a real-time, you know... like, they have...
They gotta hit all the markets but one. Because, they've already hit all the markets but one, and that would be basically that...
A mature shooter?
Other than Splatoon.
Yeah.
Because they have their hardcore racer too.
Yeah, they just don't have racing sims.
They haven't made a hardcore racer in a really long time.
Yeah, the only one they need to bring F-Zero, because that's the one that they have right there. That's perfect, you know, because Sony has their Wipeout, if it ever comes out. And then they have. Well,
Nintendo has a lot of. Nintendo actually has a lot of racing franchises. Like they have Wave Race, they have Excite, everything. The Excite series, like you know. Like those
we're talking about one you would take seriously, I guess, because people take Gran Turismo and the other games seriously.
Well, Nintendo has
not take F-Zero seriously.
You cannot.
F-Zero is like hardcore to the max, like full speed. You're not.
Yeah, but it's not. It's also not a racing sim, right? Like Gran Turismo and Forza are racing sims. F-Zero is an arcade racer. Like it's different.
F-Zero.
Well, more of the point is that they would have a racer that people would go back to and relate to for that company, I guess I should say then.
Now, anyways, so to kind of just like, you know, I don't think they need to have a multiplayer in Metroid, but I see what you're saying, and I've brought it up myself multiple times. But to just kind of suggest something here, like, since like this new generation, since Nintendo moved away from the Wii U, like you look at what they did with Breath of the Wild, look at what they did with Mario Odyssey, like it looks like they've taken a step back and look at what their games are, right? And they're gearing them in a way to evolve those series, but also they're taking into consideration how they can expand those audiences, right? Without taking away from what makes it so good. And look at Breath of the Wild now. Breath of the Wild is now a game that is attracting an audience beyond just typical Zelda fans, right? So I think Nintendo is taking that look with Metroid, especially since Metroid has not traditionally sold as well. Like, so definitely they're reassessing that franchise, and whatever they come out with Metroid Prime 4, I don't think it's just going to just be a straight up, you know, Metroid Prime successor. Like, there's going to be more to it. They're going to evolve the franchise in some way. Maybe that is online multiplayer. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's a combination. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is a multiplayer, but all I'm saying is that there's more than one way to do that. But to your point, though, Andy, there could, like, they don't have that market. I don't know if they want that market because they do like doing their own thing, and they have so many other markets they could tap into, but they could do that. You know, it's hard to really predict what Nintendo wants, you know what I mean? Aside from making money.
It's always an option.
Yeah.
Now, what is something that you think that, like, all of you, what is a feature that you would want to see again on Metroid, like on Metroid Prime 4?
A new feature?
Or one that they could bring back?
Well, I mean, I definitely think it should still be Metroid Prime. Like, I want the first-person aspect. I love the morph ball segments. I want there to be this isolation and exploration. I want that alien influence. You know, like that is really cool. I love going to those corridors sometimes, and then there's space fights that come out from on top of you, like stuff like that. It's crazy. Maybe take that to another level. You know, maybe make it a little scarier. That'd be really awesome. I mean, I want Metroid. I want that eerie sci-fi music. I want all of that. But I'm also open to them expanding the series as well. So,
yeah, everything you said I definitely want. And the one biggest thing I want, which is really, really small, but I mean, the Switch can do it, is I kind of like the idea of using motion control to control my gun and where I shoot.
Well, I'm down for that too. Like, if you look at what they did with Splatoon and Breath of the Wild, where the motion control is just kind of like a third analog stick, I think that's perfect. And for those who don't like it, you could still just do it as dual analog. Like, you can have that option. They have that option for both Zelda and for Splatoon. There's no reason to not allow it. I think that's pretty much a given. That's how they're going to control it. It's going to be triple analog if that's what you want to, if that's how you want to coin it. But yeah, motion aiming I think is pretty much a given at this point.
Yeah, I have a hard time even playing shooters that don't have motion control aiming anymore after playing Splatoon and
Splatoon
stuff. So it's just so much more precise, in my opinion. Unless you have keyboard and mouse, and then that's pretty close.
Yeah. But Will, is there anything that you'd want to see from the next Metroid?
What I would like to see, I don't have anything in particular. I'm not super familiar with the Prime franchise. Don't kill me.
Boy.
But
You're dead.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing in particular. I would just like for them to capture the same essence they captured the first time. Pretty much everything you said, Andres, where they still keep their inspiration intact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I'd say I'd want the game. I've only played Metroid Prime 1, just, you know, throwing that out there. I've only played Metroid Prime 1.
Sliced. I pretty much played, I was going over the other day, I played like pretty much every Metroid to some capacity. The only Metroid I haven't played is Metroid 2, but I did just 100% Samus Returns, so I got the story, you know, because Samus Returns is just a remake of it. And I've played every other Metroid, like, Metroid, man. There's not even that many Metroids. Like, you should play them. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I'll get to it. But I think, just going off of Metroid Prime 1, I'd like the game to be a little faster. I felt like it was a little too slow paced. Like, especially her movement is a little bit too slow, in my opinion. Like, I wish she could be a little bit faster.
Well,
like in the 2D game, she's like super speedy.
Yeah, well, a lot of 2D fans see her as more of like a tank, and they want her to be sped up. She should be feel more agile. I made the point before. I literally made a video all about it. Like, Samus should play, maybe the next Metroid Prime should play a little bit kind of like Mirror's Edge to an extent, where they give her more fluidity with her movement, or maybe incorporate more third person like running on top of the morph ball.
That could be really cool.
I think there's definitely ways that they could speed up her movement. What?
Well, you know, it'd be cool because I've been playing through Twilight Princess. After playing through that game, that was kind of an eye opener for some other Nintendo games for some reason. So, like, because I did have the thought that Metroid, because the abilities that Samus gets and the armors that Samus gets, she normally only gets parts for her arm, but wouldn't it be cool if they did have, like, a Because obviously she's in space. When she jumps, it's zero gravity. When she runs, it's a certain type of speed. What if there was something in Andreas? You'd be able to tell me if there is in another game, because I've only beaten and played through 2 of the Prime games. I did not go through 3. But does she ever get anything like heavy boots that they could be added to, like to where she can stick to one surface and not float off, maybe jump to another one electrified, kind of like they did in Twilight Princess? Or just different armor abilities other than the fact that it changes the color of her armor with same features?
Well, I mean, she's gotten some power-ups. Like, I mean, in Metroid Prime 2, like, they give you, like, an underwater pack, right, that gives you more, like, basically, essentially, like, a third jump underwater, and then you do get the screw attack eventually, which basically allows you to fly, right? So in Metroid Prime 3, you can literally, like, in Skytown, the Skytown is, like, in the sky, right? So there's different, like, robotic little towns where there's, like, a mile of space in between one area and another. And early on in the game, you have to use, like, these kind of, like, grapple, like, platforms to go from one side to another. But once you have the screw attack, you can essentially fly from one side to the other. But in terms of, like, boot stuff, I mean, you got the space boots, you know, in Metroid Prime, right? Which is just the double jump. I don't know if they do more than that. In Metroid Prime 3, they do give you more options with your grapple attack. Like, it actually comes in an attack. You can, like, yank off shields and absorb and pump energy with it. You know, you can kind of use it, like, not exactly like an electric coil, but to sort of like that. So they did expand on some of her movesets in Metroid Prime 3, but they could do more. You know, they could give her a melee attack like they showed off in Samus Returns, right? They could maybe, you know, incorporate the screw attack sooner. They could do more with the grapple beam. It could be used to maybe, like I said, do more than just snatch away shields, but also maybe use it like an electric coil, right? Maybe use to trip enemies and different things like that. So there are things they've done, but they could do even more. So, you know, I see what you're saying.
I think I got something that I would like to see, because just real quick, if you guys notice, like with Super Mario Odyssey and Zelda specifically, it's like Nintendo captured the perfect game for the casual and the hardcore. Like, you could just now jump into the series and have just as much fun as someone who's been a hardcore Mario fan, like myself, versus, like, I don't know, one of my friends or something that don't like Mario as much. I would like to see, like, the perfect culmination of the casual and hardcore.
Well, like, I mean, I was kind of making the reference that, like, yeah, Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey are great because they sort of simultaneously appeal to casuals and hardcore fans at the same time. That's something I want to see them do with Metroid Prime, because there's so many people who haven't finished Metroid Prime, which to me is a sin, but at the same time, it is a hard game, right?
Blasphemy.
You know, so, like, I get it. I get it. And I think they could find a way to balance that out. And I know there's so many Metroid Prime fans, if they hear me say, they're like, no, don't make the game any easier, don't casualize it. I don't want it to be casualized in the slightest. But look at what they did with Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. Those games are arguably some of the hardest in their respective series. But, at the same time, there are people who can play it and enjoy it just as easily. Because it's multifaceted in how you can sort of approach that game. And I think they should do something similar for Metroid Prime. How exactly they will do that? Well, we can have a whole discussion on just about that. So we'll save that for another day. But, you know, I definitely think they may do that. I mean, I'm plugging here, but I literally made a video like a month ago talking about what Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey mean for Metroid Prime. You look at how they assessed those games and kind of broke down those series and how they can improve them. I think they're going to do something similar with Metroid Prime. So I definitely see that, Will, and I think that they will create it in a way that will entice beginners, but also not take away from the challenge of the other Metroid Primes. In fact, they may find ways to even add more challenge.
Actually, yeah, because for a third game, just to add to it, Monster Hunter World sort of does the same thing, where it's clearly they're going after people who've never ever played the game before, but at the same time, my friend who's like super hardcore about it is really, really enjoying it.
Well, because the changes they made were literally needed. Like, the game's barely different, but at the same time, it's totally different. Like, no loading screens changes a lot.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
No loading screens changes a lot, and I don't even want to get into it, but there's a lot that they did.
I've heard Monster Hunter World is kind of like a casual version of, like, other Monster. I haven't played Monster Hunter World yet, and I'm a Monster Hunter fan.
It has it's easier, but it's easier. but it's not like different. Not
It's
like
still
negative.
Monster Hunter.
Yeah, fundamentally it hasn't changed.
And I mean, I'm sure a little easier is still hard, and if you go deeper into the game, I'm pretty sure it gets harder, right? At least with a lot of Monster Hunters, they have like the G rank. When you get to the G rank, things get obscene. Though, since this is the first of this build, they probably don't have even G rank available in this Monster Hunter. I don't know. I'm just assuming. Do you know if there's a G rank in this Monster Hunter?
Couldn't tell you. Because I've only like played it while streaming because I'm a bad Monster Hunter fan.
Okay, there you go.
So
yeah. I think it's time to move on to the next topic because we still have quite a few topics left. But just shout outs to a few people in the stream. Shout out to Pop Slater. Shout out to Mr. Nickel. Shout out to Star Fox Gaming. How you guys doing? Tatsumi Kimishima. How's everyone doing? Cool. The chat's been going. There's a lot to keep up with, so forgive me. Yeah, so let's move on to the next topic. I think a lot of us are really excited about Metroid Prime. Obviously, hopefully we see it really soon. I expect it to blow our socks off, and more so. Some people may drop their panties, but whatever. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Actually, just one more point to that, actually. I think a lot of people are really curious about how Metroid Prime is going to look. Because lately, Nintendo hasn't really made like a realistic style kind of game. And Metroid, most of the time, is at least semi-realistic. So I'm curious what they're going to do with the Switch hardware, how they're going to push it. Because I think that game is going to be a real showcase for what can be done on the Switch, you know? Like, if you thought Doom looked good... Yeah, I mean, obviously it looks good, kind of, but it is a lot the textures are like kind of sloppy and stuff compared to the other versions. So, but I really am curious to see how Metroid Prime is going to look on the Switch. Like that, I think that's going to be really interesting. Are you guys sort of like paying attention to that too, or is that just on my mind?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Nintendo is showing off that, because like no other company, at least at the moment, knows the Switch hardware better than Nintendo. So I feel like they're really showing off, especially with Super Mario Odyssey. They're giving him textures on his overalls and his hair and stuff like that. Like, it's crazy how real he looks in comparison to his other iterations. So I feel like they're really showing off that they know their hardware, and they could really actually show some devs that actually do the more realistic games how it's done. I think that would be really interesting.
Yeah, I think this game's going to look really, really good. And I always pay attention. I'm kind of just a tech guru. I like to know what's happening in the tech world. So I was like, what can the Switch do? I'm just always interested to see just how games are going to look and how they're going to evolve. Because, of course, we're early in the Switch's life cycle. So, I mean, just look at games at the beginning of, towards, you know, the middle and then the end of a hardware's life cycle. They're always just get better and better. So I'm just always curious to see how much better it can get. So I definitely think Doom was one of those, like, you know, definitely a beginning of a life cycle game. I think games are going to start looking way better than that. And I think if they had known the hardware better, they could have optimized it much better. Not that it looks bad, but I think it could have looked better. So I think Metroid Prime's going to come out. I think people might be shocked just how good it looks. I mean, I was shocked when Mario Odyssey came out. I think that game looks fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, it does. But, you know, there's like this stigma, right, with Nintendo games. Like, people say, oh, yeah, Nintendo makes good-looking games, but that's because they always make it cel-shaded or kitty. Like, they don't really make a realistic game, which is a true tell of, you know, good graphics, right? Like, that is, like, something that a lot of people think. So, seeing what Metroid Prime does is really going to kind of answer to those haters or doubters or questioners. Yeah, that's a word.
Ignoranters.
What were you saying, Andy?
Well, a good example of how Metroid could possibly look, especially if they went for that realistic, shell-shaded balance, is if you've seen the 7 Deadly Sins video game or the Attack on Titan video game, because those are 2 games they made.
Oh, I'd be upset if they went cel-shaded, though. Yeah, even semi. But
basically, the idea that I'm putting out, though, is when you look at the background of the 7 Deadly Sins game, it has an incredibly realistic look to it. But the colors that they're using for it, because you know Nintendo is obsessed with contrast.
Yeah.
The colors that they're using for it still gives it that really real, kind of like with Mario Odyssey. They did it there too with in some aspects. It looks really realistic, but you can still tell it has like a cartoony look. but Metroid games aren't colorful. They tend to look at the darker color spectrum for those games. So even if the game had a light cell shading, people shouldn't really notice at all anyway.
I would say that Metroid Prime
because-
3 is like the most colorful of the Metroid Prime games. Like it's actually extremely. They really look for opportunities to really be like red blue. Like there's a lot of contrast in that game.
You know, if they want to go for a contrast, they could make the overall world maybe darker and have like super good looking special effects, like when you shoot stuff or blow stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
That could be really cool. I don't know, just a random idea I just thought of.
Yeah.
Stop getting me excited about particle effects in Metroid. Like,
Oh, for sure.
oh my god, can you imagine the arm cannon just seeing the particle effects and that's like gonna radiate around in the corridors? You know, like
particle effects in Mario and Zelda.
Stop it. Stop. My graphics horror nerd
and
Nintendo-ness
Xenoblade.
is coming out.
And particle effects in Metroid, Xenoblade, and Zelda. So I think, or excuse me, Mario, Xenoblade, and Zelda. So I think that'll definitely be in Metroid too.
Okay, let's move on. Stop. I'm gonna geek out to a whole other level.
Oh gosh.
To a whole other level. So Pokemon. All right. Apparently there's been some hirings from Pokemon Company localization team that suggest that it's like a 6-month like work period, and it's gonna be ending before the end of the year, which apparently is suggesting, or a lot of people seem to think it's inferring, that Pokemon Switch could be out by the end of the year. What do you guys think about this news? Wow, you guys are speechless.
I already
So
think that Pokemon's gonna come out this year. So
I'm guilty. I wasn't listening.
Oh my god. That's
I was
okay.
half.
No, it's,
I was
So
half
what-
listening.
wow, okay. Pokemon Company has hired people for their localization team, and their working period will end before the end of the year. It has led a lot of people to believe that Pokemon Switch will be out before the end of the year.
I mean, it kind of.
Did you get that time, Brandon? Were you listening that time? Did you hear me? Sounding clear? Do you know what I'm saying? Do you catch my drift?
It's been kind of annual.
This might be
Shut up.
extreme to some people, but I feel like if that is the case, there's no reason it shouldn't make 2018. Oh, and I agree with Mr. Nickel, and like which they said, I don't want the game to be rushed. Like,
Yeah,
'cause there was a
Mr. Nickel.
rumor
No,
that
yeah.
they were rushing the game because so much hype build up from that Eurogamer quote unquote leak about Pokemon Stars or whatever that they felt rushed. That was just a rumor, but still, I don't want them to feel the slightest bit bit rushed, because that would just objectively make the game worse than it could have been. If-
I think I think the same thing that I thought before. I think they're aiming for 2018, but they have backup games just in case. Like there's still going to be a strong lineup even without Pokemon, but I think Pokemon's going to be that cherry on the top. You know, it's going to be the icing on the cake. It's going to be the thing that just blows everyone away, assuming they can get it out 2018. I think that's what they want, but if not, they can delay it till 2019 because I think they have games that will make a good enough holiday season even without it.
It's like I feel like some stuff, because I'm looking back on the extreme comment I made, I was like, oh, there's no reason it shouldn't be in 2018, but I feel like this is like a drastically new, like we gotta know, because Kimishima, and I'm not talking about the one that comes, like Kimishima's still talking like, man, we got other ways to continue to expand the Switch audience. They were just talking about how they want every person possible to have a Nintendo Switch, and I'm like, how on earth are they gonna do that? 'Cause I don't think Pokemon alone is gonna put like 7
I
billion
think so.
Switches.
I think so. With my time at GameStop, like my 5 years at GameStop, and seeing how people react to just a new 3DS even coming out, to a Pokemon game in general, I can see Pokemon by itself selling consoles. If Mario and Zelda sold
Oh
consoles,
yeah, Pokemon is a
Pokemon
system
sells
seller
itself out.
for sure, especially in Japan. It's a system seller. But I'm
like
saying,
no one's gonna want to share a
But-
freaking Switch with anybody to play Pokemon in
One-
their household.
like one Pokemon game, I feel like isn't gonna sell. I mean, it's definitely gonna like knock the sales number up, but I don't think because Nintendo, the grand plan they have for it is to have every single person possible with a Switch, and I'm genuinely curious as to how they plan to achieve that. It's interesting. I feel like that would tie into Pokemon, but they've got something a little more grand.
I think I feel like I can say with almost the utmost certainty that a Pokemon game will be out before the end of the fiscal year, which means by next March. Because they definitely want to push those 20 million units they're trying to get out for the next fiscal year. And if they don't think they can get Pokemon out for the next fiscal year, well, are we in it? No, we're not in it yet. Then there's no way they believe that they can ship 20 million units and sell most of that without releasing a Pokemon game within the next fiscal year. But that means
supposed to be 25 to 30, so it's even more insane.
Yeah, I think it was 30.
25 to 30 is what they want. At least I know 25 for sure.
I think
maybe it's 20 to 25.
I heard 20 most recently. I think that came from the investors meeting, but I'll double check that. Regardless, it's somewhere between 20 and 30. 20 or 30, that's still a ridiculous number. Ridiculous number. The point still stands that they're going to need something like Pokemon to actually push those units. And no, Smash Bros. While Smash Bros. Is great, that's technically not even announced yet. And that would be one of a few games that they would need. Pokemon is their biggest seller. Biggest console unit pusher. And by the end of the fiscal year, it pretty much has to come out if they actually want to hit that target. And they wouldn't have... I don't think they would have that target otherwise. But will it be out before the end of this calendar year? That's the question. I think this localization does potentially put it within that realm, but that realm could still be early 2019. So it's hard to say for sure. I don't know. Obviously not.
Had a funny comment.
What do you say? I didn't see it.
He said, y'all hyping this up. Watch them release this holiday 2019.
Hell no. Sorry, man.
I don't think so.
That would be a sick joke.
If something like that happens, I will personally come out, get myself in trouble, and tell you guys. But I'm banking on this year.
Yeah.
I think it's this year. Probably this year.
Yeah.
Based on what I know, it's this year. But
Pokemon has had nearly an annual release for almost every single year. How that said, if there is a year that they're gonna take a break, I guess it would technically be this year. But just based off the activity of Pokemon Company, it doesn't seem that they're taking a break this year. I mean, they even had a quote saying that they were. Yeah, they even had a quote saying that expect really, really big things this year. If they were saying that in the year that they decided to take a break, I mean, come on, you know,
what the fuck would they be talking about? Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
I really like what they're saying because they're really teasing and like you guys are saying, they're saying, oh, a lot of this stuff is gonna be worth the wait, and they're just wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and I'm like, no, don't wink, don't nudge, tell me. It's crazy how they're teasing. It's got to be something big. I feel like
maybe it's Pokemon Snap.
Pulling Detective Pikachu out of nowhere.
Yeah.
After they let it die for so long.
What if there's gonna be a Pokemon Snap HD?
Boy, I'd love it.
I would love Pokemon Snap
HD.
Like, I wouldn't even be upset if they announced Pokemon Snap HD instead of a mainline Pokemon game at E3. I would be like, really?
I think people would be pissed.
People would be pissed. I wouldn't be. I'd be like, you know what? I can wait another year.
You mean to go along with the RPG? Because they already announced that it was a mainline RPG.
Yeah, they
right. Well, I'm not saying that the Pokemon Snap announcement would mean the other one doesn't exist. I just mean that it wouldn't be coming out this year.
Oh, so like they would delay the RPG to next year?
Right. But then they would delay it until 2020 because then they would release a DLC update for Pokemon Snap. And then they would delay till 2021 for Pokemon Snap 2 HD.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm kidding.
Kingdom Hearts looks great.
There's not going to be a Pokemon Snap.
Pokemon Snap's not coming. If it ended up being like a Pokemon MMO, you know?
Yeah.
That'd be fine.
No. So.
You gotta have a lot of content for MMO.
Yeah.
Or just, make Pokken Tournament, bigger. I'd be okay with that.
Open World Pokken Tournament?
Pokken Tag Tournament, anybody?
That would be interesting.
I'd be okay with that.
Pokken Tag Tournament.
I don't know.
It's basically what Pokken Tournament is now, except can you even tag? They added 3 Pokemon per battle now, but you can't tag during battle.
Nope. It'd be nice if you could, but yeah.
And the simple thing, it's just literally you can just add a button press
Pokemon
and add a Pokeball switch animation, and there you go, tag. Like, that's all they have to do. Like, they could do that with a DLC patch, you know? Like, they won't. They would use it for a whole other game, but they could.
Did I just hear Pokemon Fighter Z?
Where?
That sounds beautiful.
Yeah, Pokemon Fighter Z.
No, there was a game called Pokemon Type Zero some guy made on PC that was actually, like, pretty much just, I guess, Fighter Z in that respect. But, but either way... Oh, bad.
Oh, my bad. I was just going to say Inside Gaming Online said they're remastering all the Zelda CDI games for Switch.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. No Filter Nintendo podcast. I think you're saying... let me know if you're saying it's reference to Pokemon, but you're saying you cannot personally see them finishing the new one this year. Holiday 2019. I don't think so. I don't think they would have announced it last E3.
He did. He said
that would mean that the Pokemon game they would have brought up the Pokemon game for 3 E3s. I don't think that's true. I think
yeah, they are Sony.
Well, I mean, here's a little bit of information that's interesting. Nintendo, with their games, famously, they always recreate a new engine for each game. After Breath of the Wild, they've been using the exact same engine and assets that they made for that game for future games. Therefore, Pokemon, I would not, because Mario Odyssey was the same deal. Same exact engine they used for Breath of the Wild, and I would not be surprised if they use that for Pokemon because it works.
Wait, they use a Breath of the Wild engine for Mario Odyssey?
Mm-hmm. And they said they're going to restart because
do you have a source for that? I would like to see that. I haven't heard that. I don't disbelieve it. I just want the source.
Let's see if someone online has
that. Would be interesting.
That's something I know personally.
That they just use a different. They're overachievers.
Yeah, because companies always use the same source for games, but Nintendo doesn't. That's why it takes them so long to have games, and they famously have one game per console. They always have one version of a game per console, unless it's something sports like Mario or Mario Tennis or whatever.
Spin-off.
But now they've come out and said we're going to be using the same assets more frequently, like other companies do, and they've also been working with Unreal, so they can learn how to use that.
Well, I definitely think what they accomplished with the Breath of the Wild physics engine is just. Sorry for the pun, but it's unreal. You know, like
that's history in the making, man.
But the Breath of the Wild physics engine is just on another level, and I think they should really stack on that and just improve upon it. Because I mean, that physics engine is it's literally the best physics engine ever made for a video game. You know. It's just, I'm sure there's other developers. I wouldn't be shocked if there are other studios that are asking, hey, is there some way we can maybe gain access to that physics engine, you know? Because, like, making an open world game now, like, any open world game after Breath of the Wild is going to suck unless they have a comparable physics engine, you know what I mean? Like, I played Horizon Zero Dawn after Breath of the Wild, and it just felt lacking. Yeah, I don't know. But
you're gonna love the new God of War then.
I suspect a lot of God of War fans are not gonna like that God of War.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's completely different.
Yeah, it's basically Uncharted.
Devil May Cry gameplay. Yeah, it's going from Devil May Cry gameplay over to
It's Uncharted with the Greek skin.
I feel like they are because.
It's less than Uncharted.
Because Joshua, when he was on, he made a good point. They kind of do like, for lack of a better term, they kind of do like those walking simulators.
Mm-hmm.
Those tend to sell better.
It's the God of War, the movie, the game, the walking simulator.
I mean, if that sells over there, I mean, that's not a game to me. But yeah.
But yeah, Andreas, back to what I said though. When you played Mario Odyssey, didn't you feel that the game had that really strange, hey, this main menu for this game is absolutely boring and unconvincing that this is actually going to be a good game menu?
The menu was simplistic, like Breath of the Wild's menu. Yeah, but I mean, the menu is not necessarily the engine. It's just the menu.
Well, yeah, but since you're self-aware of this, when you play Mario Odyssey again, since you're self-aware, you're going to notice it. That it's the same thing.
No, I don't. Like I said, I don't disbelieve you. I just, it's just one of the. I just want confirmation of it so I can share that information with other people. I do think like I haven't seen the source for being the exact same engine, but I think it's very clear that that as Mario Odyssey was being developed, they shared information between the Zelda team. Like the Mario and Zelda team were obviously communicating with each other throughout development. Like, and they probably share assets. I mean, actually, if you think about it from just that perspective, all the inside Nintendo teams share assets with each other all the time. I mean, look at Ocarina of Time. It has an R-Wing in it. Why the hell would there be an R-Wing inside Ocarina of Time? You know, an R-Wing is the flying ship from Star Fox, if you guys don't know.
If you did not know that, shame on you.
You know, so, like, they share assets and use different things to test out other games, and, you know, like, yeah, so, you know, just by knowing that knowledge, that doesn't shock me that they would at least use a piece of what they did in Breath of the Wild for Mario Odyssey, if not the whole engine itself. So, and for those who don't understand how engines work, just because a developer uses the same engine doesn't mean it's going to look or feel like the same game. It's just kind of like the underlying framework for how the game is put together. It's if you don't get it, it's hard to understand it. Is there someone that could put that in better words for me? It's just kind of like if you look at Unreal, there's all sorts of games that are run on Unreal, and they can look and feel completely different from each other, right? You could have like a cartoon side-scroller that's on Unreal versus like a 3D first-person shooter, you know? Like, the spectrum is completely different. It's like the tools, like the framework for how the game is put together, right? But also the physics engine, like for the underlying physics and laws of the world, that's also what kind of plays a role to the whole gameplay. And for the physics in Breath of the Wild, they're pretty intense, you know, so having some of that...
Was like,
yeah.
Yeah, Unreal's like the lazy development kit for the industry. It's stupid easy to develop on. They don't really have to do much, but just make their game.
Because Player Essence made a good point. Like, Japanese devs have been like really showing Western devs how it's done, and they really just now getting their hands on the Unreal Engine 4. So I feel like Kingdom Hearts 3, and you see how good that game looks. I feel like that's just the beginning. Like, I feel like Metroid Prime 4, because I'm pretty sure it was confirmed to be on Unreal Engine. I feel like that's going to look really good.
Yeah. So I want to refer to some things in the chat and move on with the topics here. But so to your point about the whole physics engine and Mario Odyssey sharing the Breath of the Wild engine, I've heard some things about Pokemon Company really being excited about what was accomplished with Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey. I think they may have been rumors, but I think where there's smoke, there's fire. It would not shock me if the Pokemon team is using, you know, the Breath of the Wild engine to some capacity to really speed up development. That wouldn't shock me, you know, or something along those lines. I think it would fit really well. So, yeah, is there anything you guys want to say to the whole Pokemon 2018 topic before we move forward?
I would like to, well, never mind.
I want either a bike, a skateboard, or I want to ride a Pokemon. That's all I want.
Some Gohan was talking about riding Charizard all throughout, like, on the sky. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, we need to be able to control it. Speed up, slow down, maybe some Charizard races.
I think it'd be interesting that they pull from the same assets, because that obviously would speed up development time, and Nintendo wants to support the Switch for a very long time. So I feel like we're gonna get some great games, but also it'll be a lot easier on Nintendo too.
Yeah. And to the points of both Inside Gaming Online and No Filter Nintendo Podcast, I know both of you are saying that you think Pokemon's more of a 2019 game, and everyone else here is like, no, 2018, like, we could be wrong, you know, we don't really know. So, like, you know, we all think one thing or another, but, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. And, Josh Sheriff, I do like Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. I played Pokemon Pearl. Actually, Pokemon Pearl is where I got into competitive Pokemon gaming. Like, that is the first game where I started paying attention to all, like, the advanced, like, rules and methods for the game, and that's what really took me to the next level for Pokemon. Yeah.
Yeah, funny, I'm actually streaming Pokemon Diamond Nuzlocke right now, and I gotta tell you, that's painful. I lost my Pidgey so fast.
Poor Pidgey.
Yeah.
So, let's move on. This one's probably going to be a little quick one. Crash Bandicoot Trilogy and Crash Bandicoot 19 for 2019 apparently are rumored to be coming to the Nintendo Switch and PC. I guess this I believe it because Crash Bandicoot. If you look at Crash Bandicoot Trilogy, there is nothing super advanced or crazy about that engine. It looks like a game that was running on PS3, you know, but it's coming to PS4. I think it would fit.
That's the case, wasn't it?
Yeah, it would fit really well with the Switch audience. Even though the Switch audience is like everything, so any game you can get on Switch will make money. So yeah, I pretty much whenever I see a rumor for a game on Switch, like yeah, probably. So that's how I feel about the Crash Bandicoot thing. What do you guys think of it?
Yeah, it's like you said last time about the whole Call of Duty thing. Crash is literally owned by Activision, so I'm pretty sure you said something similar last time. That's like not even news. Third party wants to put their game on the Switch, the best-selling console right now. OMG.
Yeah,
right.
It's not really news, but hey, I think it would be cool to have Crash on Switch. That would be interesting to see him, to see a primarily PlayStation. He's seen as a PlayStation mascot. I mean, obviously
he's not, but they did use him mascot. Like it in the PS1 era. Exactly. Will he's been seen as a PlayStation mascot.
Yeah,
I cut you off like 7 times. I just cut you off again. I'm sorry. I cut you off like 8 times in a row. All right, Will, you have the floor. I'm sorry. I'll stop talking now for 60 seconds.
Yeah.
A whole minute of Andres not talking?
I mean, that would be interesting. Like, I had a realization when I was playing Sonic Mania. There is like a reference to this old Sega commercial. I'm sure everyone, even in the chat, no matter how young you are, Genesis does what Nintendo, and it really made me realize like they were at each other's throat back then. But look at him; he's on Nintendo now. It's crazy. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, and actually, I've heard some people talk about, hey, if Crash is going to be on Switch, why not put him in Smash Brothers? And that's why we're talking.
Thanks for responding.
Sorry, well, that was meant to be the segue for the Smash Bros. Topic because I thought this would be a really short one. Andy or Brandon, do you guys have anything to add to Crash Bandicoot maybe coming to Switch before we move on to the Smash Brothers Switch roster predictions?
Not really. Crash was on the GameCube, so I could see it coming to the Switch as well. I don't see why not. That's all I would say.
Okay.
I'm just not surprised. There's no reason to be. When literally right after the game came out on PS4, before the game came out on PS4, there was like things showing up on different websites, on Amazon, showing that the game was coming to Xbox One and then Switch, and then they kept pulling it down, and then Sony kept trying to debunk the information and say, that's not happening, and then Activision would be like, we have nothing further to share. And then they're like, now it's not coming out on Xbox, and it's PC and Switch only. It's like, to be honest, they just got to get their shit together, because I don't even know what they're going to do at this point.
I'm sure Activision at one point, because like I've seen what you said with the whole Sony trying to debunk it. Like Activision just like after that, I'm pretty sure they just straight up said it's a timed exclusive, and then they just dropped it. They just dropped everything, and I was like, well, that's it. It's coming to Switch. There's no reason it shouldn't.
Yeah, and even then, Activision, Sony just didn't want to lose sales on that because for some reason, that game was a system seller. If you didn't know,
especially in Europe.
Yeah, it was a system seller. So it's like there's all that momentum, and they're not going to want to share that with anybody. So
yeah, there's a running theory that they're doing that with Dragon Quest XI, in which they don't want to, because they know when Japanese people hear it, they're gonna be like, well, this system is portable. And I'm just gonna wait, but they're trying to silence Square Enix. They've got a weird relationship going with it. Go ahead, Andres. Yeah.
No, I'm just looking at the chat, and Sabbath, Son Gohan, Mr. Nickel, Josh, you guys are all talking about Spyro. I remember when I was a kid, before I had prejudices and biases that told me I should like one company over another, I had an N64, but I saw this really cool game on PlayStation with this purple dragon, and I just wanted to play the out of it. Like, it looked so cool. So, like, if they went ahead and created, like, a remake, like a remaster of the Spyro Trilogy on PlayStation or Nintendo, I would love that because I want to play a real Spyro game, not the Skylander stuff like you guys are talking about. Like, yeah, a real Spyro game. I'd love that, and I would take that any day over a Crash game. So, my personal opinion.
It's fun if you have Bowser and Donkey Kong.
Wait, what?
That's interesting.
Skylanders is fun if you have Bowser and Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah. They had like the whole amiibo thing. That was like, I think, wasn't that like one of the big like things for like a Wii U
that
E3?
was fun, okay.
Like
on the
one of their big reveals is like, hey, we may not have Zelda or Mario or Metroid this year, but guess what? You can use your amiibo to get Donkey Kong and Bowser in Skylanders. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, and they had this Skylanders amiibo.
Wii U era
was figure and a Skylanders
rough.
figure.
It was funny
rough
because like when
I thought it was
they
fun.
did it like in interview or they were talking to him and Reggie was like, so how does it feel to work with someone who's so protective over their IP like Nintendo? He was like, well, I didn't know, I just did something and I was scared if they were gonna approve it or not. It was crazy. The Wii U era really was rough.
Yeah.
It's funny though because basically he was just saying he was really nervous to work with Nintendo.
Well, I mean, after their first screw up, they would have to be. You know, with a lot of people actually don't know this, surprisingly, but with the Marvel Ultimate Alliance was originally supposed to have Link and Samus, and they ended up showing Nintendo the build they had for that game on the PlayStation console. Yeah, and Nintendo turned them down because it was shown to them on a PlayStation. So they screwed up in the past. They didn't want to screw up again. So
Yeah, that is kind of weird to be like, hold on, let me show you this demo on your competitor's console.
Yeah.
Well, they probably didn't like the idea of maybe Link and Mario and Link being on other platforms. That may have been the issue.
Well, yeah, because they made the mistake of showing them a build in the system that wasn't even theirs.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah. So.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's you can see some footage of Samus gameplay.
Wow.
So,
Ultimate Alliance was like one of my favorite games on the PS2. Like I would have instantly jumped to a GameCube if like they had that. Like seriously? I'm sorry. Go continue with the discussion. But that was like life changing to be what you just said. That was crazy.
So, we're moving into the last topic here. We're going to talk about our Smash Bros. Rosters, and obviously you guys can be talking about it in the chat as well, and I'll try to get into it. But obviously the discussion's winding down now. So if you have any questions, just think of them and save them to when I announce, hey, give me guys your final questions. So we'll kind of do like a Q&A at the end of the discussion so I could focus just on the chat. So just kind of keep that in mind, guys. And Josh, I barely played Spyro. Like, I just thought it was really cool as a kid. I only got to play it for like an hour once. So I remember Sheep and I remember Spyro. I remember trying to jump across certain gaps with my wings. Like, that's all I remember of Spyro. It just seemed so cool as a kid. I would love to get a real shot at it. So I don't even know what the party is, just to answer your question. And yeah, get your questions ready, guys, because I'll try to do a little bit of a Q&A in like 15-20 minutes. If you ask them now, I won't see them. So just, I'll try and see them, but I won't be able to see all of them. So just kind of keep them in the back of your minds that when I say ask the questions, be ready to shoot. Anyways, so yeah, as some go on, you requested we do like a Smash Brothers sort of roster predictions this week, so we're doing it. And I asked everyone to kind of come up with their own lists before the show. So who wants to go first? I guess I'll sort of say first that, like, if it's more of a wish list or a prediction list, I don't care. I mean, this is all for fun anyways. I am not going to be talking about characters that are already in Smash Bros. Let's just assume that next Smash Bros. Has all of the characters, including the DLC characters that were added. Can we all agree to that, or does that kind of affect some of your lists?
All the ones that were in Smash 4, you mean?
Including the DLC, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
That does not affect my list at all, because I already did that.
What did I spoil?
You said it can't...
It can include anything. I'm just saying that I'm just saying that our list maybe should have the assumption that every character in Smash 4 is in the next Smash Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Not meant like...
Unless you really want to mention that you think some characters will be taken out, you can say that actually if you want to. I mean, yeah.
No, I mean, like I didn't hear you at first, so I just wanted to repeat it. But that's good to know too.
Okay. Andy, do you have anything to say to that, or does that sound good to you?
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good.
All right. So who wants to go first? I'll go first if you guys aren't ready.
Ooh.
Wait. Before you start,
Andy's over here jumping out of his seat, like I want to talk about Smash.
All right. Since he's our special guest, he'll go first. What do you want to say, Will?
Just give us a, because I know we tend to bump into each other a lot with our words, so just give us a order to go in.
Okay, so Andy, you go first. Who wants to go second?
I'll go second.
All right, so Will, you can go third then, or do you want to be do you want to be last?
I'll go third.
Okay, so I'll be last then. Okay. All right, so Andy, the floor is yours, bro.
Okay, I'll make it quick. If they make a change to anyone, I want it to be Mario, and I want them to get rid of the flood and do the Cappy hat.
Yeah.
And as for characters that I see as likely would be like Inkling Boy and or Girl, Springman or Ribbon Girl, or both, and Ice Climbers. As far as unlikely characters that I would love to see would be Tails, Shovel Knight, Pichu's return, Wolf's return, Pokemon Trainer's return, maybe with different Pokemon, Chibi Robo, Crystal from Star Fox, King Boo, and Neku from The World Ends With You.
Huh.
Good list.
Yeah. I want to play The World Ends With You, so I'm curious to play that game, and I can have a better idea of how he'll play for Smash Brothers. I like that as a fit. Crystal would be really cool. Crystal would be really cool if they actually announced a good Star Fox game this E3.
Right.
Yeah. And actually, I really like your idea for the next Mario, because I was thinking maybe they should have a Mario Odyssey character, but your idea is a lot simpler and makes more sense. They literally take out Flood and put in Cappy. That is a simple fix, a simple change, but would work perfectly and would give the proper representation that's due. And in terms of Flood, well, maybe they could just put him as some sort of assist trophy. Actually, yeah, Flood would be a great assist trophy. Maybe he goes on the pack of someone. Maybe he becomes an item, actually. Flood as an item would be dope. And it could be 4 different items depending on which version of Flood you get. That's an idea.
The idea with Cappy is a Captain Ginyu style, where you throw the cap and you become that person for a couple seconds, or you switch places.
Oh, and they become you? Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many different things they could do with a Cappy idea.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel even if it's for 2 seconds, you can still throw someone off with 2 seconds.
Yeah, I see Sabbath is...
Donkey Kong actually grabs you and he can hold you. So that would,
Yeah, that'd be another good one too. Good idea.
So he could hold someone with his hand and just knock them off.
I'm seeing that Sabbath is talking about Mario with the Cappy ability and Luigi with the Poltergeist 3000. I would like to see Poltergeist be more than just a special. It would be cool to see it actually as a part of his moveset, for sure.
He just hits you with the flashlight part of it.
Bam.
Oh, that'd be funny.
You you up and throw you off the stage. That'd be a good throw.
Yeah, it'd be funny if they use Luigi's flashlight as a solar flare, to blind your enemy. That'd be kind of funny.
Cool. They should
except if you use it too long, it breaks, and Luigi's oh no,
for
what?
His down throw. I feel how when he's capturing a ghost, but it's like an animation where he has to stuff it in, and he's bouncing on the flashlight to get the ghost in there. I feel like that would be a good down throw. That would be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, are we? Is there anything else we have to add to or say to that? Brandon, you ready?
I'm ready to go. I actually had the same. I had a similar idea for Mario. I kind of just wanted something from Mario Odyssey to be incorporated into Mario, because I feel like Mario is one of the most boring Smash characters nowadays. So doing something with the transformations or with Cappy would be great. Also, I think they should bring back Kid Link, but I think they should use him as Majora's Mask. Possibly you could change out masks, how Shulk can change out Monado arts. But I think holding down B and scrolling through or something. I don't remember exactly how you do it. But in the same way, I think you could change masks and do different transformations, which could be cool, although that'd be a lot of effort. So that's kind of just
They could treat him like Pokemon Trainer, though.
Really want that? They
like,
could. They
like
could do
Pokemon
that.
Trainer is basically 3 characters in one. Majora's Mask Link could be Zora Link, you know, Deku Link and Goron Link, and maybe have it 4 to use Fair Stady Link, or that could be his final smash, and then normal
Yeah, that
Young
would be
Link
his final
is
smash.
base form or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I think that a Xenoblade Chronicles X or Xenoblade Chronicles 2 character could come. Maybe not 2, because like... it just
Definitely
came
not
out, but
X.
X could be fun.
What?
I don't know.
What? Like a Nopon? Like,
I don't know.
I'm
I
just
guess
saying
Elma
that the
could
X characters aren't. I mean, I guess Elma, but I feel like she's too. She doesn't have enough personality to be in it. I don't know. Maybe you're right. I'm sorry. I'm like attacking your list. I'm attacking your list. I'm such an ass. Sorry.
I mean, like, wasn't Corrin announced, and like
Oh, gosh.
the Fire Emblem Fates wasn't even released yet, right?
Oh yeah, then they could bring Rex and maybe have
Yeah.
Pyra and Mithra be like part of his moveset somehow. That could be
Yeah.
cool. But that was I was thinking either Elma. I just Xenoblade X just because it came out like before. I wouldn't really want that. It's just kind of like that. It's kind of more realistic. But I'd rather have like Rex and have him use Pyra and Mithra in some cool way. King K. Rool could come just because he almost won the Smash Bowl. So actually he might have been a winner and they just didn't put him in because they said that they picked the ones that were the most voted that were actual possibilities.
Why
Yeah.
Cloud?
Yeah, like there was literally
Yeah.
some that were high up and they just didn't pick them because they didn't want to. Like that's definitely a possibility. So King K. Rool could come. Yeah, as you said, ARMS characters probably gonna come. Definitely Splatoon characters, and I think that there will be a costume or like an alt, like you like for Link, where you are in Breath of the Wild, and I think Zelda will have one as well, like a Breath of the Wild skin for Link and Zelda.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I would like a sort of, I mean, maybe not to the extent of Injustice 2, but they have costumes that, you know, completely change how the guy looked. Like, I don't mean this in any way, but like, they're, you know, the Green Lantern, Hal Jordan is white, and then they have a skin that, you know, turns them into the black one. I don't mean to be crude with what I say, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or they might
have
just
stuff like
they might just make the Link in this one Breath of the Wild. Like they might just change it to Breath of the Wild because it's so popular.
Yeah, the princess is. I mean,
that might just be their main skin.
I mean, he's kind of the poster boy, but I would
Right
like
now
Breath of the Wild, but-
he's like based off of like Twilight Princess still. It kind of.
yeah,
Yeah, he's very much
Yeah.
Twilight Princess. Maybe a little bit of Skyward Sword influence as well.
He's pretty much Wii U tech demo Link.
Yeah, pretty much.
The game
Yeah.
that could have been. Oh man, that game was beautiful.
They could definitely change that.
Still
was
think they
fun.
need to have another Ocarina of Time sequel. I want to see either the storyline for Majora's Mask resolved, or, you know.
I think that's purposely unresolved.
yeah.
To be
Yeah,
honest, I
but
think
they still
want
could-
theories and stuff.
They could still create another story and create more theories. You ever heard of like, you know, like just creating more questions than answering? I butchered that phrase, but whatever. Left with more questions than answers. Yeah, like they could create another game and do that. You know,
They could.
I mean, the Hero of Time
like
Link
when-
is timeless. Pun intended.
I sort of like,
Oh,
sort of
Del-
like when stuff is left up to interpretation. I
Yeah.
like that. Like Brandon was saying.
Yeah,
I don't know. It could happen.
I still want to see Hero of Time Link again. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably my favorite Link. Who knows?
That and Skyward Sword.
In terms of just,
I love Skyward Sword. Thank you. He's awesome.
I don't like his pants. He looks too Aladdin to me.
What?
I like Skyward Sword Zelda.
Yeah, I like
Skyward Sword Zelda is the best Zelda.
Like Link had
Her
that like
and Breath of the Wild that are
Jackson
just-
nose.
It would be really cool if maybe Zelda was a Gerudo princess for a game.
You know what would be a good game?
That would make
If they
sense.
decided to bring back the Prince of Hyrule and have them battle for the throne, Game of Thrones style again, like they did in that little
Like
short
like a spin-off. That'd be cool. Like what if they create an actual I mean, they could do with Dynasty, like Hyrule Warriors. Like, imagine if they were to take Hyrule Warriors super seriously and actually add, like, you know, like a Game of Thrones sort of, like, battling for the throne mechanic like you're talking about, and, like, really fill it out, make it more than just a hack and slash, like, you know, but that would be... we're asking for a lot, because
maybe you can add Ridley.
I mean, it's good to just want things.
Everybody asks for Ridley.
Yeah.
It's good to want things regardless of whether it'll actually happen.
Yeah. So, Brandon,
well, that's my list finished, yeah.
Okay. Will, you ready?
Yeah,
I'm getting antsy because I realize that being last means that most of my list will have been said by the time we get to me. But I know I have at least one thing that none of you guys will say, and I'm good. I'm good with that. So you're up.
Okay.
All right. I got Isaac from Golden Sun.
Oh, nice.
If you guys know that.
Oh,
that
nice.
RPG series
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like they don't pay that one enough attention. So I'm
gonna pretend I know who that is.
Yeah, they haven't paid it any attention, so I doubt that he's gonna come. But I would really love for him to come. He kind of has like a NES sort of telekinesis thing.
I mean, what if like they announce
he's
him?
Also a sword wielder.
What if he has like a reveal like Pitt did for Brawl, where like they just completely remake his design for the 3D era, and then they announce it shortly after a new Golden Sun game? Like that would be,
Yeah, that would be interesting. Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
Oh wow!
I don't think it would be likely, but I do feel like he is.
Well, if it comes to Switch, Kingdom Hearts.
I mean, yeah. But I feel like he could get in by sheer, because he's an icon. Essentially, he's an icon of the gaming industry. I mean, he's not as popular as Cloud, but he's definitely comparable to him. So I feel like he's a very iconic person to have. And I put Inklings. I don't want to explain why. I don't think I have to. Spring Man, Shovel Knight, because I feel like Nintendo sort of kind of endorsed that game. I feel like they have somewhat of a connection to the Yacht Club game, so I feel like they had that amiibo and everything. I feel like Shovel Knight should get some. It will really be great to see indies get represented. So I want Paper Mario because I'm a Paper Mario fanboy. That's it. That's my only reason.
I like that idea, actually. I like that idea for a reason that I'll bring up when I do my list.
I was thinking about Paper Mario as well, but I just forgot to put him on my list.
Nice.
Yeah. There's this Smash Brothers knockoff that my friends play at school, and Bandana Waddle-Dee, because we need more Kirby representation, and it just gave me the idea watching them play that stupid game.
Wow.
Just gotta get buff DVD in there, and you'll be good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yo, he'll be thrashing.
And I put Waluigi, but I don't.
Oh gosh,
maybe
everybody
we
wants
need to put Waluigi in something.
Okay, so I did not put Waluigi on my list. Spoiler, because it's not that I don't want him to get time or a spotlight. It's just that what would his moveset be? Like, yeah, they could create a moveset for him. Amazing.
I just wanted.
He just doesn't. He doesn't. He's not featured in a game. And he needs to be featured in a game. Like he's not.
When I think about who Waluigi is, he should have moves where he's shaking people down all the time and taking their stuff or something.
Yeah, or maybe he could be the party character because he's only in party games. So maybe all his entire moves would be based off maybe a home run swing, or maybe I don't know, rolling dice, random stuff. Maybe they just could make him the ultimate prankster, like you were saying, they could shake him down, throw bombs.
Honestly, I think Nintendo could improvise because Mario characters are usually devoid of all personality. So
you probably just have a crap ton of sports equipment to beat crap people with.
Yeah,
that would be interesting.
Or what if it did something else? And I know this would piss people off, but I think it would be hilarious. What if they create a training? They already have training mode in Smash Bros. But what if they add a little bit of a narrative to training mode, and Waluigi's your trainer? He's oh, try and do this combo, right? Like this, and you see Waluigi, because he's always in the sports game. So what if you just see Waluigi trainer? Like,
Luigi's like the master of Smash.
but which would mean that he's not an actual character though, and they could joke about that. He's like, "Oh, I'm never a Smash Bros. Character, but that's because I'm the best, and I'll make you number one."
That would be cool, but I want him as
Yeah.
a character.
Yeah, I know.
They need to give Waluigi some spotlight. I want a Wario heist game where
Because-
you play as Waluigi and Wario.
Yeah.
To navigate away from my list for like 1 second, they were actually like, since Rosalina was revealed, Nintendo has had like this push to where Rosalina is like a good character and she should be featured in a lot more games. Like I feel like it should do that for Waluigi. Like I can see his first actual introduction to the mainline series be a hit, and then they're like,
They need
okay,
to stop
Waluigi all the
making-
time.
Yeah, stop making Mario and Luigi games and make Wario and Waluigi games.
Okay.
You know, to that point, Brandon, even though I know you're not being serious, Nintendo does apparently want to go beyond the 5 to 6 year life cycle for the Switch. So what if, like, they go through all of Nintendo's IPs, like, more than once or twice, like, and they're like, oh, what do we do next?
That's a
Well,
lot of room to
it's
be
time.
experimental.
It's time to bring out the Waluigi and Wario train.
I was
You know?
I was actually only half joking. I think that'd be really
I
cool.
could-
I'd be
I
down.
can see it being interesting. Like I can see their story being a parallel to Mario and Luigi's story.
Yeah, like, but
I
they're
can
like
see-
the bad guys, or not
I can
even
see
bad
being
guys, just
like-
like anti-heroes. You know, that's what Wario already
that's
is. He's an
cool.
anti-hero. Like he's not a good guy,
They both are.
right? But sometimes he's in a situation where he's like, oh, well, I gotta do this to make money, and it just so happens that he accidentally saves the world because he's just doing it so he can be rich. You know, like something
I
like
think
that.
it'd be an interesting contrast because Mario and Luigi kind of do things because
They're the good guys, and they want to get laid by Peach.
Yeah,
And they want
and
cake.
then there's Wario and Waluigi. They're like, well, I just want money. And then they're like, so are we gonna fight or what? There's like, nah, I just want money. You got money? And then they just walk past each other.
Yeah, it's funny.
But nah, Mario would probably beat him up on the
Have
spot.
you guys heard the theory that Professor Egad is evil?
He probably is evil.
He's
Really?
probably the one messing up those houses.
He's very shady.
Think
He's a
about
very
it.
Shady character.
The flood just in the middle of nowhere in Isle Delfino. Like, why? Right? Like, who gave Shadow Mario the other flood device? The paintbrush. And who set up the whole
And
Luigi's
Dr.
Mansion situation to begin with? Like, who screwed up all the booze with experiments?
Well,
Professor
to be
Egad.
fair, he's a scientist, so I wouldn't say he's necessarily evil. I'd say that he's just being an asshole and he's trying to, experiment with his
Right.
technology.
He's not
He's
evil, but he just...
like a Tony Stark.
He's not a
like
good guy
Iron Man
either.
For,
Right,
for both sides.
he screws
He's like-
everything
he's-
up.
He plays,
Mhm.
he plays both sides.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that could be true. That could
That'd
make
be
sense.
interesting.
What if
That
they
would
made a
add
game
way
where
too many
Professor
layers
Egad's
to
the
it.
antagonist and Waluigi and Wario are the heroes? You know,
I'll give you money. No, never mind.
I would
thought you were gonna
love,
say
I would
money.
love for there to be a game with all four of them, right? And Professor Egad's the actual bad guy. But they all still like.
That'd be
What if like Wario, Waluigi, Luigi, and Mario each get like a device like Flood? Maybe Flood makes a comeback, right? And so all four, you have to use all four and they're doing different platforming stuff. And Professor Egad is, like instead of making Mario Galaxy 3 or Mario Odyssey 2, they make that. Like that'd be awesome. But we went off track, so you
For
can.
the rest of my list, it's like really big reaches. Like I feel like these would never ever happen in a million years. But
Anything is possible.
from when I put Cuphead,
Never.
obviously that's never ever gonna happen. So I don't think anything is possible. Crash, I don't think it's gonna happen. I feel like Crash would just be on the Switch for Activision's money, kind of like another Wario deal. Look, you got money.
I mean, there is this commercial where
Crash could happen.
Crash came out in front of Nintendo headquarters and it's like, "Oh, come out, Mr. Plumber," like talking trash. Like there was a commercial of that. It was pretty cool.
That was an interesting time.
Yeah.
Like that,
That was
Tasmanian
an interesting time.
commercial where Sonic, Mario,
Yeah.
and Crash are all in the bed just beat up.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that
Anyone
one.
that would.
Boy,
Yeah.
it was funny. Because like they tried to write
Yeah.
Tasmanian Tiger Alf as this like incredibly badass.
My favorite ever commercial from that era is just like the Smash commercial. It's like the perfect introduction, but it's so crude. They just
The Happy Together
skip.
one.
They just skip, and then
Yeah.
they just start beating each other up. It's so funny.
Yeah, I remember
But
that.
it really gets that message across. It's like, hey guys, our kid-friendly game, pow, pow, pow. This is like, wow.
They're happy together.
Okay.
Wow.
But and the last one, this one's never ever gonna happen. He's from an anime that I like. He's All Might from My Hero Academia.
Oh.
Oh god.
I actually
yes.
modded All Might into Smash Brothers Wii U. Because I do a lot of modding on that game for character swaps and skill sets and stuff.
On the Wii U one? They're doing mods for the Wii U one too?
Yeah,
I knew there were mods for
I'm
the
doing
Brawl.
Yeah.
I'm doing a mod right now for Goku.
yeah.
I had Kamehameha and stuff, and I have Goku on the game, and I'm getting rid of Ryu because I don't like him on there. I actually
It's
put up a
crazy,
short, like 30-second video of Goku doing the Kamehameha.
That which is really interesting is that Ryu's moveset is like not too far from Goku's, you know? Like you could
Not at all.
yeah.
I could see All Might being like in the weird universe that it actually happens. I could see All Might being like the only character that talks, where he's just like his intro is just like I am here. But it's funny.
Yeah.
I could see him being the only character that talks.
It'd be pretty awesome.
That would be really.
Have you guys seen that meme of when All Might thrashes the giant crow monster, but it shows like Nintendo at E3? You know what I'm talking about? You guys don't know what meme I'm talking about? It's like the best meme ever. Like it's okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have to send me that.
So you know at the end, who here has seen Hero Academia?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
All of us. Okay, so
Amazing.
like at least in the discussion, I know not all of you in the chat, but if you haven't, you're into anime, check out Hero Academia. It's like the best like new anime out there.
The second
New series coming March 1st.
Yeah, season 3.
Man,
So at the end of season 1, I'm gonna try to say this without spoiling anything. All Might, toward like the last big fight, you know that giant beast crow dude with the brain,
Oh yeah.
and
No,
All Might destroys him and sends
Yeah,
him
no.
flying out. There is
Yeah,
like
no, yeah.
there is like a meme that takes like a clip of that fight, right? And like you know how the students are like behind, like watching All Might do this, and there's the bad guys behind the crow watching the fight between the crow and All Might, right? Do you guys know what fight I'm talking about now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
the last
So
fight.
there's a meme of that clip showing them going back and forth, and there's like a video game company's like name on top of each one's face. Like Nintendo,
Oh, I know what you're talking
like Nintendo is All
Midori.
Might, and I think the crow is
Yeah.
like PlayStation, right? And then like Activision or Sony, right? And Xbox and Activision and Sega are like all in the background, and you're just like, oh, all of you guys just showed graphics
that.
and shooters at E3, but everyone's forgotten what the most important thing, fun. And Nintendo just like does this amazing punch, and it sends Sony
I saw that.
flying out, and Nintendo,
I
it's
saw
like
that.
Nintendo
I
won
saw that.
E3. Like that was a time when they showed off
Yeah,
Mario
that's-
Odyssey and Zelda. It's just kind of like insane.
That was like the best. I remember seeing that actually. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know what you were talking. I guess you described it too weird. But yeah, I remember Midoriya being Sega, and I was like, so Sega's going to replace Nintendo. But it doesn't matter. That was a really good meme because
Yeah,
he was like, because I'm the symbol of fun, and then he just punches the
yeah.
the
It was
crap
such a.
out of him.
I mean, it's everyone
crazy.
in the anime, but the way that they had it was really cool.
Yeah, that wasn't what he said. I think he said he's the symbol of peace.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just barely remembering it, but it was just so cool. Yeah. So what is that the rest? Is All Might the last guy on your list, or do you have more?
Yeah, he was it.
Oh, okay.
I
So
am here.
so to that point, I'll get my list started. Now, I debated putting anime characters in my list. Right, All Might's an anime character, and I thought about it for a second. It's like,
He's not-
why can't an anime character be on be in Smash Bros? Why, if there's demand for it, why can't they be in it? I thought about it for a second. It's because Smash Bros. A lot of people see Smash Bros. As like this celebration of like iconic game characters, right? So from that regard, I guess that's why you can't really expect to see an anime character. But there are some anime characters that have been in so many video games already that you get to a point where they themselves are almost like an iconic video game character, even though their source is from anime. So then, I wrote it down, even though I'm highly doubtful this will happen, but I still put it down. Goku and Naruto. Like, if there's gonna be any two like two anime characters, it's gonna be Goku or Naruto. Like, they're the two most popular like Shonen Jump like anime like main characters The other one might be Luffy or something. You know, of course there's a new one, Boruto,
Luffy
All
can
Might,
set in.
but I feel like if there's any two that would ever make Smash Brothers, it'd be Goku and Naruto.
I can see Goku.
Yeah,
I can see
mean,
Goku.
Goku's like in every Smash Brothers mod. Every Smash Brothers
he's
mod
single-handedly
has.
the most popular anime character.
He's gonna.
in Japan,
He's a representative for the Olympics.
So yeah, Goku's the most popular character out there and has been for the last 30 years. So
Yeah, I would love that.
I don't really see the. I mean, like I get that it's good to like justify things, but you know, it's kind of good.
If it's gonna be fun, if it's gonna be fun, why not? You know?
Just go ahead and just because I put All Might on my list. I don't want to justify it. I want it because I want All Might.
Yeah.
I don't want to little Nintendo could pull some strings.
Oh, Sabbath is like, what's up, Ben? Yeah, and then Sabbath is like Aaron and Mikasa as playable characters, bro. Mikasa, Attack.
So I feel like
Attack on Titan
I don't know how that would
characters.
work. Like,
I have no idea how it would work. Like, what would they grapple to?
They would go
Smash.
That would make
They would go-
sense.
They would if they
go
could grapple onto platforms, they would suck when it on Final Destination. You know, like oh crap, there's no trees or anything for us to fly through.
They could make magical trees that pop out of the air.
Yeah.
It's like you finally knock them off. It's like, oh, you're definitely gonna die, and then they just shoot out that little claw thing and just grab.
I mean, I feel like they could get creative with it. If they really like, if they wanted to, like, do you guys remember there was like this DS game
I mean,
that was like Smash Brothers?
take away this.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about? There was this DS game. No, you go, Will. You go. I'll let you finish your thought.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you take away the maneuvering gear, they're kind of just people with two swords.
Except for
Yeah,
Aaron.
they're-
I mean, Aaron's kind of. I don't want to spoil anything, but Aaron's pretty dope.
I mean,
Actually, they're both pretty dope. Mikasa
that's a final Smash
Mikasa can
event.
accomplish anything. Mikasa is
Yeah.
like the perfect example of a superhuman. You know,
I
like
like Levi.
yo, Levi is a bro,
Levi's my boy.
but
Levi's
Levi,
pretty cool.
yeah,
Levi's a Beyblade.
Like, yeah, Levi's my boy. When I play Attack on Titan, I use Levi only. Like, period. That's
Did you
what
see
I-
where they give out his cleaner costume or whatever?
I saw that.
That's the only costume I'm gonna use for him.
You guys are getting
He's just
Attack on Titan on Switch?
yeah, I'm getting it.
Oh, will I get it?
Yeah.
get what?
Maybe. Yeah, I might.
Attack on Titan on Switch.
It looks cool.
Attack on
It
Titan.
depends
I like
if
that,
the game is good, then maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
If it's good, I'll probably get it.
like the first one, so it has to be good. They made like really nice revisions to it, so
It's good. I like the first one.
Son Gohan
get
added me
it.
to check his roster, but I can't see his roster on the chat. I don't know where your roster is, Son Gohan. I'm
You
looking
put it
through the
in,
chat.
like, a while ago. It's the one.
Yeah,
Radar
if you could post it again, that'd be great. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna go through my my list now. It's not just Goku and Naruto.
What?
All right, no, yeah. There's more than that. So I think Ice Climbers is a given, definitely coming back. I think Wolf will definitely be considered, and I'm just gonna say yes, Wolf's coming back. So the reason why I really like the idea for Paper Mario is because Andy's idea about putting the Cappy to replace Flood ruined my idea for adding a Mario Odyssey Mario to the game. Just replacing Cappy with Flood, I feel like would satiate the fan base. But I feel like they should add another Mario because they're definitely going to add another Link. Breath of the Wild Link. What? What'd you say? What did you say?
I could see
I
them
said
having
Dr.
various
Mario,
Mario cuts.
sucks as a character.
Oh,
Melee Dr. Mario is good.
Actually,
Yeah.
that's a really good. Andres, you made me think because you're right. I feel like Ice Climbers is a given because now they don't have to worry about.
They already had
the weak-ass
everything done.
3DS.
yeah, it was ready. They just
Yeah,
the
they don't have to
3DS
worry about it.
version ran into certain issues during certain modes.
Now the Switch is just more powerful than the Wii U, so they don't have to really worry about that.
Wii U wasn't the Wii U
Because-
problem. It was a 3DS problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
When you
like,
played
if
8-player
if
Smash, if
not-
you had the Ice Climbers, it'd be like playing with more than 8 characters on screen at once.
You could
It
well,
took
you
3DS
could
just
you could
couldn't
do
run it.
16 characters because Ice Climbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And 3DS was just like, nope.
Ben, if they were to put an anime character and it would be a Naruto character, it would have to be Naruto because he's like the iconic character. Like Boruto has a long way to go. He just got his life just started. Naruto is like early 2000s, like, you know. But anyways, so like I think a Paper Mario would fit because like I think they should add a Breath of the Wild Link, and I think Breath of the Wild Link's moveset could be entirely different from other Link. Right, so make other Link like Hero of Time / Twilight Princess Link, right, with different skins. Make Breath of the Wild Link that uses like Magnesis and the ice arrows and you know all the crazy arrows he has and the sail and have multiple weapons, right? Because Breath of the Wild Link can use a whole bunch of crazy weapons. So like you know you could do a whole bunch of stuff with his moveset and it could feel entirely different from the other Link. And in fact, you can make this Link fast because normal Ocarina of Time Link is slow.
I would hate that.
Just
if you had ancient arrows, like you know those final smashes.
Maybe not ancient arrows, because that would be you know a little overpowered.
Just let me,
you were
for a second. Yeah, I was gonna say, do you know those final smashes that are just basically a line across the screen?
Yeah,
those are really stupid. I hate those. Those are really uninspired. So I would rather just. But it would be funny to just see him shoot an ancient arrow and then people just phase out of existence in a blue light.
That'd be really cool.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
What I would like,
that would be really
I like your idea, Will, but I want to kind of expand on it. So what if, like, when you use your final smash for Link, instead of it going into a stance where he just shoots a really powerful arrow in a straight line or at an angle, what if instead...
Oh, that's not my idea. I don't want that to happen.
No, but what if instead they pull out, you use this final smash, you press it, and it's not like a cutscene, it just shows like a quick little thing where Link pulls out his ancient arrow, and he just has it ready to shoot. So next time you shoot an arrow, it's the ancient arrow, right? So the final smash just gives you one ancient arrow to use. And if you land that ancient arrow, that person is done, you know?
Another thing I would hate is if they do like a Luigi depression, whatever thing, and everything is just slow motion. He has the ability to move, like 19 times faster than everything around him. So I would hate if they did that. Like, everything's slow motion, so hit them and they're done.
Did they change it in Smash 4 with Luigi? Wasn't it just a poltergeist thing in the... I don't remember.
No, I mean, like, I was referring to Brawl Luigi.
Okay, yeah, I didn't like it that much either.
Luigi's Final Smash sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, to that point, I would maybe like it if all Smashes were no longer cutscenes. They were just kind of like what I said, like something that some sort of power up you get in real time. You know, like Link gets an ancient arrow, or maybe Donkey Kong gets a transformation instead of barrels, or you know, he gets like a weapon.
Not all Final Smashes are created equal. There are definitely ones that are way more OP than others.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Supersonic Pikachu.
Yeah.
Freaking.
Pikachu makes up for itself by being incredibly annoying to control, and Supersonic can throw himself off the stage.
I think it's kind of hard to use.
Yeah, true.
So, moving down my... Okay. Moving down my list, aside from Breath of the Wild Link, Snake. I think Snake should make a comeback.
I love Snake.
I mean, they already had the character. They just have to add him. They just have to add him. Like, that's all. They just have to add him. There's no extra work. I mean, yeah, there's licensing stuff, so there's that to consider.
I think Konami... Yeah, but they're kind of buddy-buddy with them now.
Yeah, but Konami's such a shitty company. I don't know.
They've been...
Let them stay to themselves.
Yeah.
Konami is very pleased with the Switch, so...
Well, yeah, Nintendo has, like, characters that... Well, maybe. I guess...
Actually, on that note, you know who I'd prefer over Snake?
Who?
Simon Belmont.
You're a Belmont.
I just know who that is.
Castlevania.
Is the name.
Castlevania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Simon would be
Electricity of the Night.
Because like Snake almost seems out of place.
If not
almost.
Simon, Alucard, which is the like Dracula.
He almost seems out of place. Like he doesn't really seem like a like a fantasy character.
Right, which is why it's funny though.
A casual person would just be like, "Why is a military?"
I mean, I felt like he fit in Brawl, to be honest. I have no problem with him.
I mained him in Brawl. He was awesome.
No, I mean...
Oh, wow. You must have really upset when he didn't make the roster for Smash 4.
Uh-huh. Dude, I was like, what the fuck?
To be really honest...
Aesthetically speaking, it would make more sense for Simon.
Yeah.
I mean, Snake is like one of my favorite video game characters ever.
But to be
But
fair,
I'm saying Belmont would blend better with the Nintendo roster.
What were you gonna
but
say,
to be
Andy?
fair, Snake. Well, to be fair, Snake is a character. I mean, if they take Snake out of the, well, they already have. But honestly, they could just use Snake's moveset with a character from like Advance Wars, which is something that is owned by them. So that way, you still have your Snake-like character, but they're still being like portrayed by someone that actually belongs to Nintendo. That way, they dodge copyrights and they're still using their own assets.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Because Advance Wars is dead. So
I don't. That would be super cool, but I don't think it'd be too much of a reach.
It'd be interesting.
Nintendo to be like, "Hey, Super Bomberman Arso will, so give me that Snake."
Yeah. I don't know. I could see it happening.
I want all three of them now. They're all of us.
They've been less crappy lately, so maybe.
All right, so moving down my roster prediction, I said Crash, but I don't even care about Crash to be honest. But if they put him, okay.
Yeah.
Rex and Pyra, I think Rex and Pyra should be in it. And actually, Brandon, you said it too. Like, in fact, to kind of go beyond, I think they could just do it with just Rex and Pyra. But if you want to get crazy with it, like, they can make Rex... Actually, no, I think Rex and Pyra is fine. They don't need anyone else. Make Rex and Pyra like another version of, like, Ice Climbers in a sense. Not in the sense that they have the same moveset, but in the sense that it's like a two-character, you know? And they could do moves in conjunction with each other. It'd be really cool. Ribbon Girl from ARMS. Ridley. Because the screen's going to be bigger this time, so Ridley. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying, is that the reason Ridley wasn't brought into last Smash Bros. Because apparently he would be too big. So, yeah, I think Ridley could maybe be in the next game. Another Metroid character I think should be in the game is Sylix. Yeah, I'm not even sure Sakurai's going to work on the next game. He might just be kind of like someone who's like...
I mean, like,
offers advice and looks over things, but he's not like the main lead guy. So maybe Ridley can make it because of that.
Trying to justify Ridley not being in it because he couldn't make it. Like, it was a personal thing for him.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't really a demand thing. Like, I don't think he's, I don't think I can shrink him and he can still be threatening.
Just make him Baby Ridley.
Don't want him in there, so.
Yeah, just make him something. I don't know.
Yeah. See, it was like a personal Sakurai thing, but now that he's, I feel like
probably taking a step back.
Yeah, I feel like some good things.
So many people want Ridley. So many people.
Yeah.
And so I think Metroid Prime 4 is going to add a whole bunch of more. Metroid Prime 4 is going to be big for the Metroid series, and so I think Ridley's definitely going to be in the game. And I think another character is going to be featured, which is pretty much confirmed is going to be featured, is Sylix in Metroid Prime 4. So like I think Sylix should also be another character that we should see from the Metroid series in the next Smash Brothers, which would be really cool. He has that whole coil thing. He has a moveset already, so do it. Now, as for Pokemon, I think there's going to be at least one more new Pokemon, and I think it's going to be Decidueye. Like, we already have a Greninja, we have Charizard. I think there should be, like, a grass starter that's used, and Decidueye is the most recent grass starter, and he's really, really cool. He's, like, one of the fan favorites, so Decidueye, I think, could be in the next game. Yeah. I mean, he's in Pokken, like,
I think Decidueye is cool.
Yeah, man. He's a grass ghost. Mudkip. You love Mudkips, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to save my one crazy prediction. I'll say a few more. So Shovel Knight. Ukulele, another one of those characters that works in conjunction with two, I wanted to say Banjo-Kazooie, but, same reason we won't see Conquer, or anything like that.
It's okay to just want it, though.
No.
I don't think Ukulele will get in just because that game didn't do exceptionally well.
No, you're right.
No.
I feel like Banjo-Kazooie would...
Yeah, we don't need
There's no way to justify it, but I want Banjo. This is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Definitely Shovel Knight, though. I think if any indie character is going to make it, Shovel Knight's going to be in there.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Shovel Knight, yeah.
So,
Nintendo wouldn't even got
Juan?
Wait, what?
3-1 Juan from Guacamelee?
Oh, I just didn't play that game, but he could be in it, too.
I want Hyper Light Drifter, man. That's who I want.
Yes.
Like, I've been playing Brawl. Hyper
Brawl.
Light Drifter is such a good game and such a good character.
Yeah.
That's just
like the Guacamelee character to just transform into a chicken and just give everyone the work. Just beat up everyone as a chicken. That would be fun.
Guacamelee was a great game when you mod it to play as Finn and Jake.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I'm just gonna point out to the chat right now because I'm almost done with my list. If you guys have any questions about anything, start putting them now. If you want me to read out your rosters and give me my opinion on it, which we could talk about for a little, put it in now. And I'm just gonna finish off my list now. So, third-party characters that I haven't mentioned yet are Nightmare from Soul Calibur and Leon S. Kennedy from Resident Evil. I think both of those characters would be really awesome in the next Smash Brothers, especially Nightmare. Nightmare would be perfect.
I can imagine Leon's moveset right now. Cars and planes exploding around him because you can't put him in a vehicle. Or if someone's using Bowser Jr. against Leon, and Bowser Jr. gets in his vehicle and it just explodes immediately because Leon was there.
I think he
would have the suplex
Leon.
move and the knife move and the kick move. You know, all the context-sensitive moves he does.
Yeah, he would have all of those and it'd be awesome.
Yeah, and
I
the
don't disagree with
shotgun.
Leon. I like that idea.
Yeah,
think
he's,
Leon would work surprisingly well.
But to be
actually.
real, Capcom for some reason really likes Chris.
Yeah,
Right.
So-
Chris Redfield.
Even though Leon's their poster boy, they use Chris for everything. So
like, Leon's way cooler, man.
yeah,
He's
Did you see
the
that last
protagonist.
Resident Evil animated movie.
The what? I haven't seen any.
The
last Resident Evil I saw
if you
was.
like Leon, watch Resident Evil Vengeance. I think it's called the last Resident Evil animated movie. Leon was like John Wick and
Oh,
Neo
gosh.
put together throughout that entire movie. Like, not even joking.
That sounds awesome.
Like, he was John Wicking and being Neo. throughout the
Wait, I
entire
gotta
movie.
write this down. Resident Evil what?
I think it's called Resident Evil Vengeance because I just got it on freaking 4K Blu-ray the other day because it was so good.
Man.
Huh.
But yeah, he was literally John. Like, he was so John Wick to the point where he did like this whole gunfight with these zombies, like just really quick with his gun. And there was other scene he was on a motorcycle, and for no reason he was like shooting at a dog. For no reason, threw a grenade behind himself and let everybody on the highway just die. I was like,
Wow.
dude, you're too hard ass for this movie.
That's classy.
I
So,
like when video game adaptations are done really well. Like the Castlevania anime, if you've seen it. I love that.
yeah.
Like, I'm following up with that super hardcore. So I'm definitely gonna look at that movie.
a lot of people mentioned Travis Touchdown. It's gonna be in the game.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
Travis
I
Touchdown.
forgot him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it for all my characters except for one. Now, this was the character that I was confident none of you would say. This character, I believe, is the MVP in almost every single Mario game since 2007 or something. You guys ready?
Oh,
You guys ready?
really?
Captain Toad and Dragon.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I love Captain Toad.
Yes.
Like, his game was
That is my trump card for my Smash roster list. I love the idea of Captain Toad being a Smash character, but I said
jump.
and Dragon though. So you know the dragon in Treasure Tracker, they would have to make him way smaller, obviously. But what if you just like
That would be
writing
interesting.
like a mini dragon, like a mini version of that dragon or something, and like it would just be cool. I don't know how it would work,
That would
man.
be awesome.
And
Captain Toad is like the secret character I'd love to have. I already have like a moveset for him, like in my brain, because I was gonna add him to Smash Wii U and actually make a moveset for him, like
Nice.
one where he takes the backpack off and spins like Link, but you can move with it, or one where he actually takes stuff out of the backpack and throws it. The basic hammer attack.
You'd be throwing turnips for sure.
his final smash could just be like the pickaxe of eternity. Like, you know how it's like it's like, you know how you have like the hammer that looks like a mailbox, right? That you know what that, right? Like, what if his pickaxe is like a super version of that? You know, that'd be
So the golden hammer item from the, I'm just kidding.
no, like better, like bigger.
Yeah, but better than that.
It was a jest. It was a joke.
Yeah. So that's
Nintendo's
my
already-
list.
Well, like Nintendo's already abused, like completely abused characters using reversals. But I would love for Captain Toad to have a reversal where he pulls out a mini Peach as a.
Oh wow, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
Just pull out baby
if you hit
Peach.
if you hit the peach, you just hit you with a cake.
They pull out a baby Peach to reaffirm that people are tired of babies in Mario Kart, and the fact that Peach is using Toad
Take your anger out.
as a shield because Toads were using Peaches as shields when they were babies.
Oh god.
Wow.
Okay, Ben had
So
a funny
coming-
comment
I'm sorry.
where he said, "Oh, go ahead, Brandon."
I wasn't saying anything.
Oh, I said, Ben S had a funny comment where he said, "Shy guy for Smash." I think that would be funny because, like, in the spin-off Mario games, it's heavily implied that he has some sort of monstrosity behind that mask. So I could just see him being super overpowered, just a little short guy running around. Like,
I feel like Mimikyu and Shy Guy would get along.
Wrecking people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool, actually. Yeah. So I want to start going to the comments because there's a lot of them. I'm not gonna go through all of them. That's impossible. But let's see. I'm trying to see like what was when you guys started like putting up rosters and stuff. All right. So LSU is saying I think a Rabbids trophy or something would be likely. At least a trophy. Yeah, we can give the Rabbids that. They could at least get a trophy in the next Smash Brothers. But it wouldn't shock me if they had even more representation than that. Maybe an assist trophy or something. Actually, I mean, if you're going to put in third-party characters, I don't like a Rabbid as a character, though. Like, no, like, actually, if you look at my list, let me see if you guys can see it on camera. If you can see the bottom right there, it says Rayman. It's probably backwards, but it says Rayman Rabbids, and I thought about it, and I crossed it off.
Backwards.
I crossed it off. Well, it's backwards for me for whatever reason. But I crossed it off my list. I wrote it down. I was like, no, this can't happen. Like, it
If
cannot.
they did, it would be Luigi Rabbit because he was the best one.
I feel like it would be super funny if they did that because, you know, everyone, like, no one wanted to see a Mario Rabbids game.
Yeah.
And, like, ironically, it was
I thought it was fun.
probably one of the most polished games of 2017, which is really funny.
Yeah.
Like, it was very...
Yeah, I still haven't played it yet.
What-
I probably should.
If they had an appearance, it should be a level. Like with them running around in the background being stupid.
Yeah,
That's
that'd be
why
funny.
you just fight.
Yeah, stage hazard or something
Yeah.
like that.
So, has anyone seen Son Gohan's list? Because I said he said he put it, but I couldn't find it.
I can't
That
find
was
it
a while
either.
ago, if I remember.
Yeah.
It was a while ago. Like maybe
so-
20, 30
so-
minutes ago.
Son Gohan, if you hear me, man, put the list because I do want to read it. You did request this topic, so you know I would at least like to highlight your list, but I just haven't seen it. But anyways, No Filter Nintendo podcast. This is what he's putting down: Shovel Knight, Rabid Peach, Ice Climbers, Rex Pyra, Mithra, and Rayman. So you like the idea of having Rex, Pyra, and Mithra? I mean, it could work. I mean, there's multiple characters that have multiple characters there are multiple characters that have multiple characters.
I'm thinking of a specific
Yes.
character for this final Smash, but I don't think they put it in there because it's a huge spoiler.
Spoiler for me. I'm like nowhere in that game.
If you, Andres, you know what I'm talking about. I think you
There's-
probably know what I'm talking about.
One of two possibilities.
Yeah.
Either one I would love, but then everyone would be like, "Oh, Smash Brothers, you spoiled it for me. How dare you?"
I would,
But the game's
would
been
like
out
to-
for like a year already. Screw you. Like, I don't know.
It is kind of a
Wait, which-
massive spoiler, so.
which game are you guys talking about?
Xenoblade.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah.
I'm like nowhere in that game, I gotta say. Like, I literally...
Get on it!
Oh, Son
What are you
Gohan.
doing?
Son,
I'm like,
Son
well,
Gohan
because,
posted
like-
his list.
Like, most of the time, since I, like, do a lot of stuff on my channel, like, every single day, I stream every day, I make videos and post stuff every day. So, like, I only get to play video games when I'm streaming for the most part. So, like,
Dude,
if
when
I
I
played that
streamed,
game-
I used to stream every day, and it was like that. That's part of the reason why I stopped.
yeah,
streaming
so if I
every day.
play that game, oh my... Like, Twilight Princess has already taken up a lot of time. If I do Xenoblade on the channel, my god.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
The game
Like,
took
I'm
me
gonna get around
60 hours to blow through the story. Like, I did like 3 side quests. I just like shoom through the story. It took me 60 hours.
Wow. So, what did you say about a list?
Son Gohan posted his list.
I still don't see it. I'm gonna go down the chat and then
Yeah, it's,
It
All
was like he just sent it.
okay. I'm gonna go down the list quickly. So, Sad thinks Shadow Mario should be added. Shadow Mario. I would like Shadow Mario actually. That'd be really cool. Maybe. I mean, it's technically Bowser Jr., right? So, I still wouldn't mind it though. Ben S asked, would they use Kid Naruto, Teen Naruto, or Adult Naruto if he was? Maybe they can make. I mean, like if we're gonna put Naruto into the game, you might as well do alt costumes. And if we're gonna have alt costumes, heck, you can make one look like Boruto. Like maybe just put the colors not actually be Boruto, but you know, I think the default would be like Shippuden Naruto though. You know,
the more iconic one. If that is the more iconic one, I don't watch Naruto.
Yeah, just the one where he was at the peak of the series, which was at some point in Shippuden. If they add Breath of the Wild Link, they should add Breath of the Wild Zelda. At least as a skin for Zelda. I would love to see that.
Oh, man.
No filter Nintendo podcast says Professor Layton.
That would be.
Oh, that's interesting.
That'd be weird. After seeing the Marvel vs. Capcom, I could see that working in Smash way better than a Marvel vs. Capcom. Well, I guess for what's his name for Ace Attorney, but I mean Layton and him had almost the same attacks, minus the objection button.
Objection.
Sure.
I want Detective Pikachu with a Donnie DeVito voice.
You don't want it to sound like Ryan Reynolds?
No.
I mean,
it
depends on how good he does it.
I can't tell how he's gonna do that voice at all.
When you thought of Detective Pikachu, you instantly thought of Ryan Reynolds.
When the first trailer comes out with the voice, that's gonna break the internet. That's all I know. Yeah.
I usually think of because he had a really good Deadpool 2 trailer.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother can of worms. I don't want to open. I could talk all day about that.
Yeah. Marco and Tarma from Metal Slug Sabbath says that's interesting. A Metal Slug characters would be pretty cool actually.
And if they die, they turn to a zombie, so that's kind of like being like a second shot at being alive.
Wow.
In the game, if that makes any sense.
That'd be interesting.
Kind of like a final, not Final Destination, sudden death.
Yeah, I guess that death thing really wouldn't work because you get knocked off the stage. I guess that would be like a little Easter egg for stamina mode or something.
Yeah, I remember at a point, everyone was like, "How on earth are they gonna do Pac-Man?" And Nintendo reached into the depths of the character's past and made Pac-Man work. So I really think anything is possible.
Now, my thing with Smash is my basic rule of thumb that Nintendo obviously doesn't follow. Smash Brothers honestly should have 2 characters per franchise. They shouldn't just have Sonic. They should have Sonic and Tails. They shouldn't just have only, I don't know, what's another character? There's only one of that character. Xenoblade. They should have 2 Xenoblade people. They should have 2 Spider people. 2.
Give me all the Xenoblade.
Metroid.
No Xenoblade characters in there.
Can someone please
no less than 2 of each franchise personally, so you can make a legit team with that character rather than having that franchise character and then a freaking me in costume.
Yeah, and technically they I'm pretty sure they defined Yoshi as his own franchise and Wario as his own franchise. So there's a lot of gray area there, but I definitely.
Because I want to use Lily. I think her name's Lily from WarioWare. Ashley. I want Ashley and Wario together. I don't know. I don't know. That's just me. I'm weird.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, I don't see Son Gohan's roster. I don't see it.
I see it either.
He probably YouTube probably automatically defined it as spam.
I guess.
Maybe.
Well, why don't you copy and paste it and send it to the chat that only we can see?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, then again, never mind. I know why, guys. Because YouTube updated. At the top, there's a thing called Top Chat.
Oh gosh, I do have it on Top Chat.
Now I see it now.
Oh, what is this? What is this nonsense?
Default to the live chat, you stupid YouTube.
Is this not okay? I see it now, Gohan. What the flip?
It automatically.
I didn't even notice that until now. Okay, so Son Gohan's list. Is that I wonder how many other things I've missed just because of that.
Yep.
Wow.
Sorry if we've been missing your comments.
It's too late.
Yeah, even I just now found out about it. I was like, wait, what?
All right, so Son Gohan.
I found out before the podcast, but I thought it was a YouTube creator only thing, so I didn't bother with it.
No, I saw this new feature on live streaming for camera, and I saw it, but I didn't know they did it. It was defaulted to this on normal streams too.
Yeah, I didn't know. That's what. Yeah.
Wow. So, anyways, I got your list now, Son Gohan. All right. Inklings. I forgot to mention Inklings. Yeah, Inklings are also a given, as much as Ice Climbers are, if not more so.
Yeah, that was on my list.
Toad. So I see we're kind of in a similar way. I said Captain Toad. You're saying Toad and Toadette, which is interesting. I'd like to see Toadette. I wouldn't mind that. If you're gonna have Toad, you might as well have Toadette for sure. Waluigi. Yeah, I mean, I think people have been begging for some sort of Waluigi spotlight. It's gotta happen sooner or later. Bomberman. Well, if they really do go ham on the third-party characters, I do think Bomberman has a pretty decent shot, actually. So that makes a lot of sense. And he could, like, set a lot of traps. He could be focused on setting traps and stuff. I could see something like that. Springman from ARMS. Okay, I said Ribbon Girl, but, you know, yeah. Rex and Pyra. We all want Rex and Pyra. Like, that is, yeah, for sure. Definitely. Shovel Knight, we definitely agree there. Decidueye or Incineroar. I can see Incineroar, but like I said, there's not really a grass-type Pokemon in Smash Bros. Right now. So I think Decidueye would be needed, unless they bring back Ivysaur or make them Venusaur or something. That's the thing. Squirtle and Ivysaur were two cool characters that were just wiped from Brawl. Like, they were in Brawl, and they didn't bring them to Smash Bros. Right? Like, they didn't make them their own characters. Like, they were good characters. At least Ivysaur was, and he's just, like, not in Smash Bros. At all. Like, it'd be cool if they brought back that moveset, at least, you know, somehow.
I mean, there are a lot of Pokemon, too. Like, I feel like there are a lot of Pokemon and a lot of Fire Emblem characters.
Yeah, there are. There are. But it's just, I just think it's weird that they have these two Pokemon movesets that are completely unused in the last Smash Brothers. Rabbids. I think this is kind of like a running theme here that a lot of people want Rabbids. I didn't play the last Rabbids game, so that's kind of why I guess I'm not with everyone here. I probably should play it. That's my own fault. Cranky Kong. I mean, it would be funny, and like I could kind of see it too. Yeah, it'd be really. But like, the thing is, Cranky Kong is slow. But they could do like a whole Yoda thing where Cranky Kong seems slow, but he's like bouncing around, flying around like crazy. It would depend how they do it, but I think Cranky Kong could actually be pretty cool. Shadow the Hedgehog. Okay, he was an assist trophy last time. Ukulele. We both thought that might be an idea. Rayman. I think if Rayman's in it, it would have to have some sort of tie-in with the Rabbids. You know, maybe Rayman uses the Rabbids as weapons. And then Birdo would be scary. But also still, yeah.
I see Birdo being an orange.
Birdo's a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a dude. No.
And what's weird is that I always thought as a kid that Birdo had to be the female Yoshi. We all did. But it made sense to me, especially since Birdo's hole looked like it fit Yoshi's nose. But, no.
Do you really think that's how Yoshi, Anyway.
No. I just like, I don't know, man. I see pieces and they fit like a puzzle, bro. Like, whatever, man.
Yeah, I think I agree with Sabbath because Donkey Kong is kind of underrepresented too.
Yeah.
For it to be so integral to Nintendo.
Crazy thought. I had it the other day. I know this is probably like it's technically related, but not. But you know, back in the day with Donkey Kong Jr. specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong Jr. because Mario fought with Donkey Kong in order to get Palatine back on the original Donkey Kong game.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Jr. is a Donkey Kong we play with in Donkey Kong Country.
Okay,
that's been heavily debated.
Wait, so Donkey Kong Jr. is not the Donkey Kong that we know today that's also in Smash?
Donkey Kong Jr. is a Donkey Kong in Smash.
That's all debated.
No, because that always bothered me, and I thought about that when I was trying to sleep last night, and I couldn't sleep. It was pissing me off. Like, so was this the Donkey Kong that I know, or is the Donkey Kong that stole the prince or Mario's girlfriend, and that really?
I believe Cranky Kong is the Donkey Kong that stole Pauline.
I like that. Cranky Kong.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
I like to think that. Yeah.
To think that. I think it's confirmed.
Is a different entity from Mario.
I'm pretty sure it's confirmed. There may be a third Donkey Kong in this generation somehow. I have to look into it, but there is something to that, exactly, something like that.
Which means Mario is mean, dude. Donkey Kong Jr. had his own game, and he's sitting here abusing him.
I think Jumpman was. I don't know. I think he's a different entity from Mario entirely. But I'm not sure. I don't think.
I just want to point out. I want to
recognize him in Mario Odyssey.
Yeah. Pauline is.
Well, I mean, Mario changed so much over the years, you know? It went from, like, polygons to...
I wouldn't
Same
say
world,
she
same
doesn't
world.
recognize him. I would just say that she didn't make a big deal out of him.
He's a
She
bad
didn't
handle.
seem to know him at all. She just was like,
Yeah.
get out of my way.
To be fair, they did have a rocky
Wait.
relationship. The fact that he
She
was
did.
with her and at the same
Yeah.
time. And
She
in Mario
did
2
not
going
know.
after... Sorry.
Who Mario? My bad. She did not know who he was because she was like, you're familiar with plumbing work, right? She would know that because
She
she
had-
was from.
She didn't
She
seem
was-
to have any idea who he was.
Exactly. She actually asked him in Super Mario Odyssey, "You're familiar with plumbing work, right?" As if she had no clue.
Well,
But Jumpman back then was the Jumpman that did plumbing work,
But did he...
so she would know.
I think
Maybe
there's a
she's
video.
mad at him for.
I think there's a video brewing here now. Some crazy Mario theory.
Well, yeah, because, like, Mario 2 happens at the same time of another Mario game. So, like, Mario was with Peach, but saving Daisy...
So what if? Okay, here's a weird thing though.
But
You
just
can't
look-
say that Jumpman is Mario's dad, because Pauline,
I don't think it's his dad.
right?
Yeah, 'cause
Because
then
if you look how
Pauline-
Pauline has aged, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, unless Pauline is not the same
It's
Pauline
probably
from,
not even the same Pauline. Yeah,
yeah.
different design.
I mean, if you're gonna make Jumpman Mario's dad, then you might as well make Pauline's mom.
Then explain Luigi in
So
the
that would-
Jumpman games. Oh, wait,
so
that
that
was
would mean they
Jumpman, excuse me.
They don't know each other at all. Then
Yeah, there's a possibility.
it's
This
kind
is
of
some-
like
this
a
is-
Zelda thing where it's like
this is
oh,
something to
we
look
coordinated
into.
in this
I don't
and
really
we
know.
together. That would be cool if it was.
Well,
like
no, because it
that.
is Pauline, the same Pauline, because in the Mario Donkey Kong games where Mario and Donkey Kong, the stupid little toy Mario's walking around, that Pauline is like the main female of that game.
Huh.
I guess in that case she would know him, but I kind of view that as like a spin-off.
Maybe Mario
But
Odyssey
yeah.
takes place like in the past somewhere.
Okay, interesting.
Maybe
So
maybe the stress from being a mayor of a whole,
I
city.
feel like Mario does know Pauline, and they just didn't put a focus on that. Like if you look at what they've said, like yeah, I feel like
Mario's
they,
too busy for women.
She doesn't know. She doesn't know.
or maybe
I
she
know,
just
but
doesn't
she
remember him.
Or he doesn't want anything to do with her other than saving her city.
If
Yeah.
she knew Mario, she would know that he was familiar with plumbing work. He's literally a plumber. She knows him less than a stranger would know him.
But was
Maybe-
he a plumber?
Maybe it was just a long time ago, and she.
Oh.
I mean,
and,
He was a construction worker. That's the thing. And Jumpman was a construction worker, not a plumber, right?
yeah,
Yeah, but this Mario
He was a plumber now.
we know
But
is-
since then,
I
he
think-
cheated on her,
technically he's
and
not a
she
plumber
hasn't talked to
anymore.
him since.
he's not a
And
plumber
those
anymore. I forgot.
those Mario games where he's doing the stupid little wind-up Marios with the Donkey Kong versus Mario thing. He's not. He's doing construction in that. He's not plumbing.
so
Overall,
don't-
he's just a business worker.
while we're on the subject of confusing
A
relationships,
carpenter, a plumber,
Josh Sheriff is asking me this question. He said he's heard that the Pikachu in Smash Bros. Melee was the old Pikachu, and that the Pichu from Melee had evolved into Pikachu, and that's the Pikachu that's in Brawl. I don't think that's.
Oh god. Oh,
I don't-
God, Smash Theory.
I don't think that's true at all. I think it's just different Pokemon. I think Pikachu's Pikachu. Yeah. I don't think.
feel like they're
I'm
all
not. Hey, I'm not saying it's a bad theory. I'm just saying that I don't think there's any substance to that. There's no actual information that says otherwise. So believe what you want in this case. I think the way Smash Bros. Is built, it's for you to have your own headcanon about it. So yeah.
I think I'm going with the theory that they're just toys and the hand is just a person.
Yeah, so Sun Gohan had a crazy question. He said, since Peach declined Mario's proposal, would Mario marry Pauline? I don't think she declined his proposal. I just think she chose no comment.
Yeah.
Mario needs to move on. She's
Yeah.
old news, man. Let Bowser have her.
I
Why does she
am
get captured all the time? Because
I
they're
think at the
texting
end
and-
of Mario 64, when she baked Mario a cake, it was actually a metaphor, and Mario got
Oh god.
got the good stuff. I think the cake was a metaphor. Yeah,
The kick is a lie.
I mean, that cake must have.
yeah. That cake's got to be really good if he keeps coming to save her.
I guess, but
Yeah,
that means Bowser had some of that cake.
There was
Oh God! All right, we're
Bowser
done.
Jr.
We're
comes
done.
from.
We're
You know?
done.
Like, she didn't even acknowledge that Mario saved her at all.
Yo, I love No Filter, No Nintendo Podcast comment. Mario's got to reach for the stars. Rosalina.
You know
Yeah.
what's weird is in
Yes.
Rosalina is Luigi and Peach's daughter, so I'm sorry.
Oh, I heard that.
I
Yeah.
hate that
I
theory.
like being that guy.
I hate that theory so much.
Yeah.
Gosh. Speaking just weird things, like why is Peach in Super Mario Sunshine when Bowser Jr. says that he's her son? Why isn't she just like, that's impossible? Why is she like, oh, that could totally be true? Like, why did she even?
She doesn't.
She's like, oh, like when you see her reaction is like, is he? Like, what? How? Why is that even? Why you have to even ask the question?
She's like, wait a minute.
It's a freaking question. It's like,
All
what
right.
the heck?
To take this discussion in a completely weird way, which we're not going to actually do, but I'm just going to say, Peach's name is Peach. Peach. Just think about the name Peach. That's it. Josh is asking, do you remember the old graphics in Smash Bros. 64, how the fighters look like clay? Clay. Yeah. I could see how, I guess I could see how you could sort of describe it as clay. I wouldn't say, I wouldn't call it clay.
Yeah, it was just, the graphics were ugly then.
Yeah.
So.
I kind of liked it.
PS1, but they were...
Oh yeah,
Nintendo was
PS1's
just a power.
240p.
That 240p went a long way. So
that whole generation was great.
It's literally the 3DS screen on the TV.
Princess Toadstool.
Isn't that Peach?
Yeah.
It might be her old name. I gotta look at all this theory stuff.
That's that name in Mario 64.
That's like a
Japanese.
Does.
That's like a Japanese thing. Like Dr. Eggman is called Dr. Robotnik, but Eggman got popular in the West. This is like.
Well, Robotnik.
Yeah, that's a good
Robotnik
point.
is
It's
the
probably like a
Americanized
localization thing.
My bad.
Yeah. And
My bad.
Bowser's name is
Robot.
King Koopa in Japan, and not Bowser.
Yeah, it is.
So
Isn't it
It's
just
It's
Koopa?
Koopa Jr. as
Isn't it
well.
just?
yeah, and
It's just
Jigglypuff is
Koopa.
Perrin.
So, like, if I
Charizard
remember
is
correctly, in Mario
Brown,
64, it says Princess Toadstool, but you hear her voice and she says Peach at the end.
Yeah. It's weird.
I don't
But
know.
yeah, she's Princess.
I'm gonna have to look into all this stuff. I might have to.
See,
These are all interesting
people
video
think
ideas.
Princess Toadstool is Daisy just because of the hair color change between the games and the cartoon, but that's like the only substance that holds.
Yeah. Huh.
But
I don't know.
like,
We're
there was
having
like an original book that came with the old game that had Princess Toadstool with brown hair. So
I love how we're just having a really elegant discussion about Princess Peach's name. This is a moment to remember. I'm just saying.
We just got into the theory section of the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I think it's getting kind of late, so I'm gonna, I guess, bring the discussion to a close. So anyone with any sort of questions or things to say, you have like 120 seconds to put it out there. So is there anything you guys want to kind of revisit or just touch on before we call it a night?
you guys are awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, everyone in the chat is awesome.
Glad you could come on, man. It was good. It was good having a discussion with you. Maybe we could have another at some point.
Yeah, I like talking about Nintendo stuff because when I do stuff with Sick Critic, it's just like not Nintendo because they don't know anything, considering the fact that I'm their Nintendo guy. So
Yeah.
it's nice to talk to people about Nintendo.
So sometimes I've spoken with other people about like working with them on like a channel, like, oh yeah, you could be like the Nintendo guy. It's just kind of like, okay, so we can't really talk to each other though because you don't know Nintendo. That's kind of like boring sometimes.
Yeah.
I like talking about other non-Nintendo stuff, but I'm almost like predominantly Nintendo, so it's just hard to not be like,
I love talking about non-Nintendo stuff.
Yeah, I'm predominantly Nintendo, even though my channel says otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo is like first and foremost, but I love talking about the other stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love calling out EA on the Battlefront.
Dude,
Yeah.
They're so disgusting.
Yeah, that never gets old. I love picking on EA.
EA's
Oh.
gross, and I love Battlefront 2, and they're still gross. Like, that game has so many issues.
That game has such good gameplay. They just ruined it with microtransactions.
It had potential. That's most.
The gameplay was so fun. I played that beta. I loved that beta. It was so good.
So
and the game came out, it was crap.
yeah. So just a couple things in the chat. So Josh Sheriff is saying Mario 64 Peach had orange hair. I don't think that's true. I'm pretty sure it's yellow.
Yeah, it was blonde.
It was
kind of looked like a dirty blonde, but it was blonde.
pretty sure it was.
Wasn't that up or not?
Pretty sure it was yellow.
Not Peach's Castle, you idiot.
Yeah, it was blonde. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always been blonde.
Yeah, it's blonde. It's very blonde.
Yeah, it's like overtly blonde. Like it's not really a debate.
Yeah, I don't think any type of
Yeah.
TV can.
And I'm glad you enjoyed the stream, the No Filter Nintendo podcast. Thanks for the compliments. So Savage64 is asking, do you guys know when the next big direct is coming? I don't know when it's coming, but
Yeah.
I think there's a chance we'll hear something this week. If not, I wouldn't expect it anytime soon. But if you hear something tomorrow, you're already here. Otherwise, I don't really know. To be honest, I don't. I mean, there's gonna be a direct sooner or later. I just don't know if it's gonna be a major direct. So yeah, but don't be shocked if you hear something tomorrow.
It can't be predicted to me.
Yeah, it's.
I was so worried they were gonna announce it for like the Friday I was leaving, like this last Friday.
You wouldn't be able to cover it.
To be honest, as a Nintendo rep, Nintendo are still complete assholes to us because they'll be like, okay, this is our event, this is when we're doing it, and we're also going to have a presentation for this beforehand, so be prepared. I'm like, okay, it's coming on this date. And then they go, oh, by the way, we're moving the date. It's like, okay, you're moving the date. Got it. You guys are moving the date. Okay, all right. When are you guys moving the date? Now. What? And then that's, so the date that I know right now might not even be final, but at the same time, I'm not really allowed to say anything because I can't even tell you it's not in February. Hint.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So yeah, there you go.
Nudge, nudge.
It's just one of those things where like you hear about information and leaks sometimes, and they're like, oh, this makes sense, but then it doesn't happen. It doesn't mean the information was false. It means the plan just changed. And to what Andy was saying, Nintendo changes their plans a lot. So, it's hard to really say. But like I said, I don't be surprised if you see something in February. But
even the insiders can't predict them.
Exactly.
Entertainment.
Even when they have the answer, they don't have the answer.
they'll give us some answers, but on things like events, yeah, that's up in the air.
Yeah. All right, everyone. So thanks for coming to the show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any suggested topics for next week, if there's anything you want to see or any other questions, let me know in the actual comments. And I will see you guys really soon. And make sure to check out Andy's channel, Entertainment Gaming Daily. The link is in the description below. As well as Will and Brandon's channel, Lil Will the Deity, and What About Nintendo, also in the description below. Check them out, subscribe, like this video, share it. It helps out. For whatever reason, YouTube just cut like my notifications in half. Like literally last week, like all my videos dropped by like 150% in views. It's kind of crazy. And a lot of YouTubers are complaining about notifications right now. So yeah,
basically what you're gonna have to do is just inform everybody that they need to make the notification thing say for all notifications, because now when someone clicks it, it does some notifications instead.
Yeah,
they should.
Yeah, hit that bell. Make sure you're set up on all notifications. Like, share. That really matters, guys. So
they should give that tool that they give to certain creators, where you can. It's essentially like you can create a Facebook post to your subscribers. That could really put some life into a dead video.
yeah, like sometimes a video I have just dies for whatever reason. I wish I could just like give it like a resurgence, But whatever. We don't have to talk about that at the end of the show. Again, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you all really soon. Have a good night. Check out their channels. Seriously. All right. Bye.
Good night, guys.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, dude.